Hello. Hey, how's everyone doing? What day is it? It's going to say happy Friday then. No, Dan, it's Tuesday. Come on. Right, let me just check this. I'm just checking this because last week I blew everyone's ears out with System of a Down. So we're not going to have a repeat of that today. And no comments about my crinkly long sleeve shirt. It's come out the wash and it's all bloody crinkly. I need to give it a proper iron. Oh, how's everyone doing? Hey, Reese, how you doing, man? Tony, good to see you. What's occurring? Mike, have you got water? I have coffee. That's a very specific question, Mike. Hey, Raquel, how you doing? Loe, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Jean, Rebecca, hello. Oluwase Gun, Fahad, Zakir, Mohammed, Arul, hello. Listening to Freebird and just watched the Walking Dead City Season 2. Today's a good day. The trailer, right. So is Dead City, is that the one with Negan or is that the one with Rick? They've like done some spin-offs, haven't they? And I can't remember which is which. I feel like that's Rick. Hey, Dansky. Hey, Vahanga, how you doing? They have shut off the water main on our estate. Oh, I saw that. Yeah. I got a text or an email. No, I got a text. I mean, I didn't think to check our water, actually. I got the text and just was like, coffee, I'm good. Oh, that's annoying. Well, unfortunately, Poppy's probably going to get a nasty surprise when she gets home and there's no H2O. Negan and Maggie. Yeah, it is that one. Okay, cool. I've not been following that one. I dropped off The Walking Dead. When did I drop off? I think it was after Negan and that lot invaded Alexandria and a tiger came out of nowhere. And it was a bit like, really? Like, I found that just a bit silly. But there was some like Negan's character and some of the like Negan, Rick, and some of the characters are so good. And I think, yeah, it just, yeah. Like when Negan first kind of was introduced with Glenn and all that, that was brutal, that was. But such a good character. Oh, no. Sorry to hear that, Neil. Uh-oh. How are you coping with no shower? Good evening from Greece. My English is not very good. Hey, it looks very good to me. Much better than my Greek. We'll say that. Oh, right. How's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? Ask me tomorrow morning. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Aravind. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Negan Man Crush. Yeah, I know. I'm there with you, Tony. He I don't know if you watched a TV show called The Boys, and he was in the latest season, and he's basically Negan. Like he's that same character, just real slow talking, real sinister, and it was just like, I love this guy. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, isn't it? Basically every show that he's in, I'm just like, look, just be Negan. That's all you got to do. Just be Negan. Yeah, you've seen it, yeah? It's just, I mean, that show is just batshit. That is just totally nuts. Trying to describe that show to someone is like, you're not ready for it until you start watching it. Oh, right. Let's get started with something. So yeah, so basically today I've finally finished updating my website, Dansky.com. There is a new look. Oh, hang on. Let's open it up. I spent a lot of time working on this, so feedback would be very much appreciated if you've got anything. And it's really about kind of setting up this sort of Oh, hi, Mustafa. Hi. It's really about setting up kind of where I want to go in the future. So I'm going to be doing lots more courses, lots more teaching, coaching. As you can probably tell by all these links along the top, it's going to be doing more stuff, more teaching, more of just everything along those lines, more streaming, and essentially just trying to do things that get the knowledge out of my head into the minds of other people so they can, well, as it says, unleash their creativity. So this is the new site. And yeah, the logo might look like a revised version of the old logo, and that's because it is. There's been some changes. But essentially, yeah, there's a few accolades there. There's some new courses. So there's 2 new courses now up that will be launching on the 20th of October, and that is Photoshop First Class and Illustrator First Class. And these are meant to be introductory courses to the respective software. I say introductory, they're still going to cover like a lot of different things. Like they're still going to get pretty in depth, but essentially it's going to be going from installing Photoshop or Illustrator for the first time, and the price is a bit more accessible because it's going to be that more introductory level. But hopefully it means that more people all over the world, regardless of your budget or the economy or whatever, you're able to, hopefully this is more accessible and you're able to kind of jump in and yeah, just, well, as it says, just discover and unleash the power of Photoshop's tools and features. And just there's some pretty cool things in there. And I think for a lot of people, these courses will be enough. But what I'm going to be doing is we're going to have the first class series, and then there will be the masterclass series as well. So this was the first course I ever made over here, and this was like trying to download my entire brain into a single course. And I think looking ahead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break them out. So there's going to be the more kind of introductory to intermediate level, and that's going to be the first class courses. And then there's going to be the master classes that is going to start from an intermediate level and then go to the most advanced stuff I can teach. So that is just going to be the best of what I can teach in Illustrator or Photoshop or whatever app it ends up being. And yeah, the reason I did this is because it just makes these entry-level courses that will be good for a lot of people, it makes them more accessible. And then the new master classes that will be coming probably early next year, I think, they will be a bit more, but they will basically teach the best of what I can teach. So if you don't like the content taught in those advanced master classes, I'm not the guy for you. It's going to literally try and teach everything I can. So with Photoshop, for example, it's going to be kind of, you know, hyper-realistic illustration, UI design, designing a whole homepage. It might be advanced photo manipulation. So if you see some of the kind of things that I create here, this is my favorite thing to do. If you look at this kind of stuff and you're like, wow, this is cool, it's basically going to include teaching some of this, not these specific ones. Maybe this one, I'm not entirely sure yet, but it's going to be that kind of level. And yeah, UI design, the video games and things, just, yeah, a whole variety of different things that I am able to teach and that I think would kind of fall under that more advanced category. And those masterclasses will be much more project based as well. So that will be for people who really want to just kind of, I guess, for want of a better phrase, dig into my brain and learn everything that I know about the respective software. Not everyone's going to want to do that. And for them, you know, you're going to have these first classes that will teach you pretty much most of what you need to know to just get into the industry, start using the software. And I mean, to be honest, the content of either of these courses probably covers the first 10 years of my entire career. So yeah, I made a lot of mistakes. I did a lot of things wrong. And now I'm able to kind of look back and go, okay, this is what I think someone would need to learn kind of going into the industry. It's a Walking Dead stream now. Wishy Designs. Hey, how you doing? Wishy Designs. That name seems familiar. Have you been before? I feel like you've either been before and not for a long time, or this is your first time. If it is, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. Oh, okay, so what did you think to the trailer, Reese? Because I've spent a long time working on this website behind the scenes and the trailer. There's so much that goes into it. Like, you have to like plan the course, do all the designs, you got to do the website, the trailer. Don't even get me started on marketing. Eesh. But yeah, I'd love to know what you think. If there's things that you look at the trailer and you think, you could do that better, please do let me know. Oh no. Hey, maybe next time, Gene. Catch you later. Oh, you like the trailer, Rebecca? Okay, that's good. That's good. I spent a lot of time working on it. I had some help from another video editor as well. There isn't planned to be a logo design course, but it's something that I can teach. So I thought basically what I'm going to do this year is, hang on, let me draw it. I think it would be easier if I kind of draw it and show you. Plus, it's an excuse for me to just draw something. I love drawing with the stylus. It's great. Okay. Right. So, Illustrator. I don't know why, but all the color pickers and windows pop up on the wrong screen. It's really annoying. Okay, so this was my very first course. It's still available now. I mean, without sounding arrogant, I think it's an amazing course. I don't want to sound too over the top, but I really do. I'm very proud of it, and a lot of people love it as well. So this is the Adobe Illustrator Masterclass over here. There we go. Let's get some orange. I've been wanting to talk about this for so long. It's exciting for me personally to be able to have a plan to bring all of my knowledge to the world, essentially. Yeah, I know a lot of stuff and it's good to get it out there. Right, so this is the Adobe Illustrator Masterclass. So that was my first course. And I've thought very long and hard about how I kind of want to do this going forward. I definitely want to make more courses, and I will be. So we've got 25 first class. And then masterclass. So just separating it out a little bit. And then we've got Photoshop. And there's so many different things I can teach as well. So whether, I spent a lot of my career in UI design, funnily enough, which is a skill set that I enjoy and I love, but I don't really use it these days, unfortunately. So, in terms of the apps that I'm able to teach, there's no reason why I couldn't teach Figma or Affinity apps or just anything really. So this is the plan for this year. Let me just draw some lines. So this is the original, this is the OG masterclass. This will end up being that in a slightly different form. But essentially, this is what I'm going to be moving to. Excuse the terrible drawing. And then down here, yeah, someone said logo design. So there might be a non-app specific course covering logo design. After Effects, that's another one. Now, I wouldn't say that I could teach After Effects to a masterclass level. I'm good at After Effects, but there's definitely people, if you want really advanced stuff, I'm not the guy for you. There'll be people that will be able to teach you really advanced stuff in there because it's just so powerful. But I definitely know enough to be able to put together a first class. And the same with Blender and some other software. I'll be able to teach it to a good level. But if you want the really advanced stuff, you might want to go somewhere else, because Photoshop and Illustrator, I know it inside and out like the back of my hand. That's my bread and butter. So that's another reason why I wanted to kind of have this sort of these two tiers of pricing, or these not pricing, but the two tiers of pricing and difficulty, because there's a lot of stuff that I can teach at that level, and then there's some stuff that I can teach at a more advanced level. So hopefully that sounds good. I thought it was great. The flickering through images with sound design had me. Good, as long as it, I was watching that, Reese, and I was thinking, is this gonna like be a problem for someone with epilepsy or something, for example? So when you say it had me, as long as that's in a good way. Hey Lampros, how you doing? Oh, for goodness sake, I've done it again. We can't see your screen. Oh, no. Oh, I'm the worst streamer. Oh, well, you get to see the... Hang on. Oh, wait a second. Whoa, hang on. Why isn't it showing my screen? Oh, it's frozen. Oh, that's weird. Hang on. Oh, it's just tech issues everywhere here. Right, there we go. Oh, weird. Double whammy. I forgot to change the screen and it froze. So this is my amazing drawing that I've just been doing. So essentially, let's go through it again. This is the masterclass here, the very first course that I made. And what I'm going to be doing going forward is having the first class versions here. So these are going to be introductory to intermediate courses. That's this entire row here. And then for things that I can teach at a very advanced level, those are going to become the new masterclasses. So there's two kind of different kind of brackets. I've been here before. Yeah, I thought your name looked familiar. Welcome back. Oh, you like the effect on the photos as well, Rebecca? Okay, good. Yeah, it's hard when you're trying to animate that. You've got literally, you're trying to cut it all together. So everything, like the flick sound lines up with the changing. It's difficult. It takes a while. Yeah, it's a weird one. So in the community, I'm not sure if notifications have... I used to get emails all the time, and I'm not sure now if it's because... I think because a lot more people have joined the community, I don't know if the email notifications automatically disable after a certain point, because otherwise it would just be ding, 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 ding. I don't know. Yeah, mine have stopped as well. You can go into the settings on your own profile in the community, and you can choose kind of how you receive notifications for different things. So you might want to go and just double check, because you can turn on to be notified when you get messages and things. Yeah, it was a headache, but I think I got it right at the end. It's one of those things, Rebecca, when you're looking at it, you're going, it's off. Something is just like a frame or a millisecond off, and it doesn't work. It's like a gut feeling. But yeah, so that's the new structure, and then these are the courses. So this is the existing masterclass. Let's just whip these up here. So these pictures are just kind of a look at the kind of things that we'll be doing in the course. So here we've got like adding graphics around hair, which can be very, very tricky. Adding text or graphics to waves, for example, and having it look like it's on the water. This one's really cool. This is like part of the final project that is taking an average looking burger and building like an entire 3D scene out of just flat graphics. So yeah, so these move around, and it's kind of a little tease of what's coming. The lessons and the duration. I think there probably will end up being more lessons than that, and the duration might be slightly longer as well. But until I finish recording everything, I won't, and like editing all the lessons, I won't know. There's the trailer if you do want to give it a watch. And again, here's another little look. Just kind of at the main things we'll be doing. This is one of my favorite things, is the guitar in the water and how to submerge things in water and stamp in clouds and add like splash effects. Yeah, this is going to be really good. And there's a detailed breakdown of the curriculum of exactly what's going to be covered. And there will be new lessons added for the 2025 update as well. So if you do choose to enroll in either of these courses, there is multi-year support, so you're kind of always up to date with the latest features. That was fun. Yeah, you can see that technique in action. I added the community to a laptop and then just dunked it underwater with all the kind of wibbly, wavy effects. The text isn't as easy to read, but the thing looks damn cool, so that's the important thing. And then there you go. You've got what's included and the launch date as well. And then it's a similar sort of thing for Illustrator. There's a little peek at some of the stuff we're going to be creating. Oh yeah, these. Oh yeah, I mean this as well. That stippling effect, stippling, however you say it, is really cool. Celtic knot, yeah, loads and loads of stuff. And then yeah, a look at some of the kind of main things that we'll be doing: 3D patterns, a bit of illustration, some poster design, exporting. Just a lot of stuff that's going to give you a really solid introduction to Illustrator. And unlike me, you're going to get an introduction to a lot of the fundamentals. I missed that stuff out when I was learning. Back in the day, I was doing just tutorials, cherry picking bits of information, and I actually missed out on a bunch of very basic stuff. But with these courses, you're not going to. I'm able to look back and go, I missed out on this stuff. I'll make sure the people I teach don't. So yeah, we've got lots and lots of different things. And again, similar graphic for the community. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's the new site. I do coaching as well if anyone's interested, one-to-one coaching. And I will be doing workshops at some point in the future. I definitely want to get into more of this kind of live setting for very specific things, but that's all going to be in the future. And if you are interested in joining the community, we've got a big button up there. So you could, at the moment, you can join the community for free and just chat when we're not streaming. And if you want to go back and jump back in the community, or you want to see where your courses are, just go to login, and essentially you'll be able to log in, and this will take you all the way back to your dashboard, and that's where you can just access everything. So yeah, I'll quit. For anyone who, yeah, the logo's changed. I need to address that. I need to talk about that. Hang on, let me open it up. Oh, you guys know what it's. I know you know what it's like when you're designing for yourself. We've talked about this before. It's challenging. Hang on, just pulling Illustrator apart. I would much rather design for someone else than myself, because when I design for myself, it's just overthinking everything. It was a take my money sort of way. Oh, good. Wow, that's good to know. No, so my website's made using Webflow. And essentially, I know enough about Webflow to be able to kind of add, edit, and do bits and pieces. I could create a very basic website from scratch, but Webflow's got a marketplace with loads of amazing templates that professional Webflowy people have made. So what I did was I paid, I think it was something like, it's either 79 or 129, something like that, pounds for a professional template. Loads of pages, animations and things already made. Like you can see here, I refresh the page. You see, like a lot of this was already pre-made. And then I get to go in and customize it and edit it. And I've got enough knowledge of Webflow to do that. The main reason I use Webflow is because I want control of everything. There's some great platforms out there like Squarespace or Shopify or whatever, and they're great if you don't want to get into all the nitty gritty. But you know me, I'm like a pixel perfect bandit. Everything has just got to be exactly where I want it, and Webflow gives me that flexibility. Even though it's harder, it would make much more sense for me to use something simpler. I need to have that control over the fine details. Because, you know, I think having a background in web and UI design as well, I need to be able to move stuff exactly where I need it. So, yeah, that's the main reason that I'm using Webflow. A lot of work that pays back. Yeah, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. Oh, you like them? Thank you, Tony. Honestly, man, that's my favourite thing to do. That Photoshop art stuff. Right. Oh, I need music. I knew there's something missing. Let's get some music on. System of a Down. Yeah. So, yeah. So with the logo, right, where did we get to? Good lord. This is my my mess of an artboard. I think we landed somewhere like this when we last worked on it with the icon. And thank you so much to everyone who had input into this, and I'm sorry to everyone at the same time. There was just something about it when I started mocking it up on the website and things that I just wasn't 100% on. And I like the kind of mark, and I might use that in some way. But oh, look at all these. These are great. These were designs submitted by other people. But then I was just looking at that new version compared to my old logo, and there was something that just wasn't. It just wasn't working for me. And there was something about that I really liked. But typographically, it needed a few tweaks and things. Like I wanted to kind of change the Y. And some of the letters, not make them perfectly round, so they're more kind of typographically correct. And so kind of what I ended up with was this version here. I spent a lot of time just refining this. There's so many little details in here you probably wouldn't even notice. So yeah, some of these, the D and the A, for example, they're kind of squished in a little bit. You'll see here that the D and the A and the N, they taper off very slightly as they come in. Again, that's another thing that is kind of more typographically correct. I did try to keep everything the entire width, like a consistent width, because that's just me. I was like, screw the rules. But with the S in particular, it looked really weird with everything being the same width. And I don't know if you can tell here, but there's certain points on this this letter where it tapers in. So this bit here, this bit here, and this bit here is considerably thinner. And then if I were to kind of go here, these bits are wider. And this is, I'm sure a typographer could explain this much better, but this is so the S looks typographically correct. So same with the top. This is not like a mirror image. The top has to be slightly smaller than the bottom. Otherwise it looks unbalanced. And these little kind of nuances were what I really wanted to bring to the lettering. And so it, on the surface, it looks very similar and almost pointless to kind of change. But for me looking at it, this looks like a very much more typographically correct and professional version of that. A real subtle kind of refinement. Hey, Poppy, you've decided to grace us with your presence. You got home okay? And do you have water? You know that text I told you about? Mike says there's no water. Him and Neil don't have any water at the minute. Eesh. I have experimented with having the kind of the mark and the logo typed together. Maybe. But I don't know. As you can see on the website, like I think it works. It's just simple, clean. Yeah, it's not going to win any awards for creativity, but it's I think it's pretty smart, you know? I don't know. What do you think? Hello, my pretty little penguins. Oh, what? It's been cancelled? Why? That's annoying. I mean, I can't say I'm too disappointed. It means I can go home after the stream and eat food. The new SX height appears lower than the N height. Maybe my eyes are not seeing well. Let's have a look. Let's have a look, Raquel. Let's get into the weeds. Yeah, so hang on. Yeah, so where you have kind of curves like on the N and the A, I forget what the technical term is typographically, but they do need to dip slightly below and above the X height. So the X height is this kind of line here, and the baseline is here. The same with O. There's certain characters that have like a kind of bowl shape, and they do need to extend ever so slightly beyond the X height and the baseline. If I were to make the S the same exact X height, it would appear too small. It's very subtle. Yeah, and it could be the fact that I've not quite got it right. Maybe it does need to come up a pinch, but yeah, I don't know. It's definitely thinner than the other characters, which I think is kind of a pretty normal with this type of font. You just stretch the S out. Yeah, we're going to be doing another competition soon. We are going to be doing another one because they are a load of fun. But yeah, I mean that is something we could do if people want to kind of get into drawing letters from scratch. Like I say, I'm no typographer, but I know enough where I'm able to kind of draw very simple, usually sans serif letters and kind of make them look good and correct. Although I think the kerning might be off. Now I'm kind of noticing the spacing. It might be slightly off there, but oh, right, we do have water. Thank goodness for that. But yeah, quick update. That's the update on the logo. That's where it stands. That's the great thing about everything being online, is that I can just tweak things and change it. It's not like, I mean, if I get it printed on a t-shirt, it's kind of a bit more definitive. Do you like the changes? Oh, thank you, Raquel. I think, yeah, I look at it and I think because I've got that experience and I've got like an eye for detail, I see the second one very differently to the first one. It looks like a much more professionally tight, typographically correct version. But yeah, this might look familiar as well. Sorry, we're jumping around a bit today. It's been a wild day getting everything up and running. But this was the only potential change that came back from this logo from the client Daria, and these were the ones I sent off. We've got the Polish and the English localization, and rather than having the sans serif typeface at the bottom, the question was, could we do something with a cursive typeface? And my initial reaction was, I'm sure about that, because we've got like a lot of, I don't know, the serif typeface has got curls and curves and swirls, and it's quite fancy. I do think it pairs nicely with a clean sans serif typeface, but I'm going to try it nonetheless. You know, at the end of the day, it's her logo and not mine, so I'm going to explore these ideas. And out of all the fonts on my computer, these were the four. Well, there's one I don't really like. I'm not really sure about, but we've got 4 cursive style typefaces, and yeah, I don't know. What do you think to them, top to bottom? What have we got? We've got Sophia. We've got this one here, Montoa's. That's like more very kind of signature style, so it's a lot harder to read, but it's kind of, it does look quite slick, even if it's harder to read. We've got Learning Curve Bold, and down here we've got Nick Hanley Normal. Yeah, I don't know. Hello, I'm Anthony from Nigeria. First time talking here. I really love to learn from Dansky channel, but finding it difficult to join the classes. Is that the new courses? If you let me know, Anthony, what challenges you've come up against, do let me know and I'll try and be as helpful as possible. School area for the kids. Have you guys started already? Prepping school area for the kids. Do you homeschool, Rebecca? Just out of interest, when you say school area. Where you get these fonts. There's a lot of places. I mean, I've accrued lots of fonts. So you've got Adobe fonts, Google fonts. Honestly, I get my best ones from Envato Elements. Or Envato, they rebranded. Yeah, so honestly, this is one of those subscriptions that I couldn't live without. So I always kind of talk about it. It's linked in the description if you want to check it out, and I get a commission from that affiliate link. But basically, you just go to fonts, and I could just type in cursive or filter it here, and you just get all of these. And these are, I think they're like a step up from free fonts. They're just more professionally done. Sometimes with free fonts, the kerning between the letters is a bit off. And I just find that the quality of these is higher and they're just more creative. Yeah, like look at this one. This reminds me of Rianne's Fika logo. It's kind of the lettering with the wibbly wobbly outdoorsy kind of thing. Oh yeah, see, look at these. Some of these fonts are insane, and you just get all of them with the one subscription. Like, I don't want to sound like a sales pitch, but if you like fonts, you like Photoshop brushes, or you're a creator and you like music, sound effects, and just all that stuff. Yeah, backgrounds, textures, icons. Yeah, I definitely would check it out. It's a good platform. It's a great platform, actually. They're not meshing for you. No, yeah, I know what you mean. I like the signature font. Yeah, I think from a visual perspective, the signature one is the one I like the most because it's so different. Whereas something like this, like what's this one? Sophia? I think it looks nice kind of on its own if I were to take it at just face value individually. But when you're kind of pairing it with something that does have serifs and swirls and drops and embellishments, there's a much more of a distinction. I'll just grab this. Yeah, you see there's a much clearer distinction. That's why when she initially asked for the kind of, I was thinking cursive and serif. Like, I didn't want to write it off, but so I was like, I'll explore it, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's a happy ending there. I guess at the end of the day, you know, if I show it to her and she likes it, then, you know, everyone wins. But it's like with all my clients that I don't really work with clients anymore, but when I used to work with clients or I work with someone now, if they want to see something, I'll mock it up. But I will always kind of give my sort of recommendation and say, hey, I've mocked this up, but if it were me, I would pick this one because, and then I would lay out the reasons. But ultimately, it's their choice, you know? So at least that way I've kind of put forward my concerns. I've told them what I think is the best for their business or their brand. But, you know, at the end of the day, they're the one bringing the hammer down. They got to make the decision. So, oh, you homeschool your eldest? Has been homeschooled since kindergarten. Oh, wow. Amazing. Yeah, Raquel, I totally agree. It does have a more, there's more contrast. I don't know about legibility though. I don't know. I don't think it's too bad, personally. On a website, it would be, actually no, on a website, yeah, it would just be a squiggle. It would be a lot harder. So I might have to make it bigger. But again, with a cursive font, you know, certain letters and descenders and things, they do kind of, like the T here, you know, as soon as I start bringing this up, it's going to start colliding with parts of the letters. So there is that consideration across both languages as well. Oh, Anthony, you like the signature font as well? Yes, we'll talk about Affinity design in a bit, Zakir. It's legible, it has personality. All right, let's put it to the vote then. Let's grab the... we'll grab these three, I think. Listening to Toxicity again. Just, I'll try not to start singing. I'll try not to do that to you. That last stream where I accidentally started blaring out System of a Down, I'm so sorry. The whole stream got claimed by System of a Down, unsurprisingly. Ha! Oh, that was funny. Well, funny for me, maybe not for everyone else's ears. Hang on. Start a Q&A. No, we're not doing Q&A. Start a poll. There we go. Which cursive font as best? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think that's a good question. So here's a nifty little trick. If you open up the glyphs panel, some fonts come with alternates. So if I select the O, for example, and go alternates for current selection, it will show you if there's a different alternate, and that's like a different style. So some fonts will have like 7 different Ps. Don't know if I'm... Ah, there you go. Yeah, so this P, there's 2 different ones. Some letters have more than others. This one doesn't have many. I'll show you a different example that's got a lot. Was it Gelato Lux? I love this. It didn't work in this example, but it's a nice squidgy looking font. So if I select the... Let's go for a capital P. Oh, I thought they had more than that. Hang on. Lowercase p? Yeah, we've got a couple there. Oh, it must be another one I'm thinking of. Ah, there we go now. We've got loads of O's, so we can pick all these different O's. Or we've got the Y, and you get a bunch of different descenders. All this kind of stuff. This is covered in the Photoshop First Class course as well. So you can do this in Photoshop, and there's a demonstration. You'll see it in the trailer, actually. And it's a great way to get beautiful looking typography without necessarily needing typographic skills, because you can pick a font like that and it's got lots of different stylistic alternates and you just pick the right combination. Sometimes when you type a font like that and you type your letters and you've got Y's and G's and letters, they just crash into each other and look awful. But if you go and switch out some of the characters for the better stylistic alternates, you can create some really, really nice typography just using the existing characters that are kind of buried within that font. Can the clean font be worked in between the Y and the G? Oh, I see what you mean. I think, yes, maybe it could. The problem is, though, because this is the English version and the Polish version's got different characters. So the Polish version doesn't have the Y and the G, I don't think. Let me just check. Oh, it does, but it's in a different position. So here it would sit centrally. Here it would throw it off. I'll try it. I'll give it a go. But that's the curveball with this one, is the localization. Isn't the brand positive psychologist? I can't remember. I've forgotten. I think that's what I did, Raquel, but it was the wrong way round. Do you know, I can't remember. I need to check that. I definitely got it the wrong way around originally, and I changed it. Well, all cat, yeah. Okay. This might look horrific. Yeah, I wouldn't ever do a cursive thing with all caps. All right. Yeah. Cursive in all caps, I would very, very much use with caution. All the caution. Oh, I mean, Rebecca. Yeah, if you and Poppy want to catch up, you can message each other directly in the community. I think I think in the community you're not the archaic way, are you? So yeah, Poppy's in the community as well. So you can either message in the community or you've got Instagram or yes, all caps is no good. Ain't no good. Right, I need to figure out what the heck I've done with the logo. There is every chance I've grabbed the wrong one. Hang on. I'm going to check. I'm going to double check. Let's get it. Scrolly. Do. Where's the message? English version is psychologist positively, not positive psychologist. Yeah, so it is psychologist positively. And I don't know. It does sound a bit like backwards to me. Like I would expect it to be positive psychologist, but psychologist positively is definitely the translation I've got from Daria. And I think before I did it the other way around, positive psychologist. Nice plug there, Dan. Did I plug something? What am I plugging? Oh. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep that. I think that's how the brand name that she's using. So oh, what for the community? Yeah, nice little plug. Moosh! Sorry, I got a bit excited then. That wasn't that. That's not a core spell. That was for Moosh. How you doing? Right, what was I going to do? Oh yeah, community. Yeah. So if anyone's new here, or Wishy, if you've come back after many moons and you'd like to join the community, it's a free community where we basically get to just kind of hang out and chat when there isn't a stream, share ideas, share designs. So if you want to join the community, join our slot in the community, then you can for free. And if you enroll in one of my courses, you get access to the community anyway, but also the members area. I should probably do a plug of the courses now, actually, that I mention it. So hang on. There we go. We'll do. That's the course promo bell. Right, where is it? Where's my web page gone? Poppy, can you do the promo? I'm struggling. Okay, so yeah, we've got the Adobe Illustrator Masterclass, and there's now 2 that are up for pre-order. Photoshop First Class and Illustrator First Class. These courses over here are introductory to intermediate level, and they'll take you through just a huge chunk of what Photoshop and Illustrator can do. This one's got a trailer, the Photoshop one. Illustrator, I'm working on the trailer for that one, but it will be coming soon. But you can pre-order these individually, or there's a bundle where you save a bit of money as well. So if you want to learn just a huge chunk of what Photoshop and Illustrator can do, this one's probably a good bet. If you're interested in one app, then these are the way to go. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, and they both launch on the 20th of October. So what is that? About a month, just over a month and a half. So yeah, really, really exciting. And we've got the OG Illustrator Masterclass there as well. Hey Design Academy, how you doing? All courses are downloadable, or is it watch online? So yeah, you can't download the courses, but you can watch them online through Dansky.com. So basically with every course you get lifetime access. So it's been a long couple of weeks. What have you been up to, Moosh? You've been busy. Oh, thank you, Poppy. Poppy's got me covered. There's me floundering around trying to get links to things, and we all know my marketing ability is highly questionable, but Poppy's got me covered. You shared the old link. The old link should be the same. That was what I mentioned to you earlier. It's the same link. Oh, no. Yeah, we will be doing another competition. We will be doing another one for sure. Hey, Aj. How you doing? It looks different. Yeah, that's because it's on the new site, Pops. The old site's gone. So the link's the same, but it's the new website. Cool. I also want to set up like this. People don't have access to download, but to watch online. Can you guide a bit? Just a hint how to set up. How do you mean? Sorry, what to kind of set it up in the same way that I've set it up? The platform I use is called Kajabi. It's a very strange name, but it's a good all-in-one. So it's more expensive than a lot of course hosting platforms, but Kajabi has the website, the email marketing functionality, the course hosting, the community. It has it all. So it's not like you have to get a course platform and a community platform and an email marketing platform and sync them all up. Kajabi just does everything. So it's, especially if you're used to it, you're new to it. It makes it a lot easier having it in one place. Do you know what I mean? Oh wow, God! I bet that was full on, Moosh. You had to move all of that in a month. You are a donut, Poppy. You're a delicious donut. A YouTube true crime podcaster for her upcoming tour. Nice. Yeah, it's a very strange name, isn't it? I'm not entirely sure what Kajabi or a Kajabi is, but Punjabi, Punjabi Kajabi. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like a word like from another part of the world or something. Like when I was talking to my mum about it, she said, "Oh, I quite like that. It sounds different." I suppose it's kind of like what's that business card platform, Moo? Is it Moo? And then they did moonpig.com for the greetings cards. What the heck's a moonpig? I don't know, but it sounds cool and it's memorable. So, yeah. Yeah, it's honestly, it's a good platform. Just, it's all in one. So, Moo cards are quality. I would love a reason to get some cards printed, Reese, but I've got no reason to. Oh, see you later, Poppy. Go on then, off you go. I just order some to say I have cards. Yeah, I think that would probably be the reason I do them as well. Because the whole point of a business card, I think, is to like give people your contact information so they can get in touch with you. Whereas me, I'm just kind of like nowadays, it's like I don't want people to get in touch with me. I want to work with my students and I want to stream and yeah, I just don't want people contacting me with projects and things and oh dude, okay, so you're a fan of Moo. Stickers, right? Now stickers is something I could get behind. I love some stickers and stick them everywhere. Go and stick them all over my kids. They go to sleep one night and they'll wake up the next morning and there'll just be stickers all over their face. Ha! You're my son and you're branded as well. Right. Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Sorry if you're watching, Leo. I'm not going to cover your face in stickers. Probably. Anyway, poll. Ooh, okay. Oh, wow. 1 and 2. Right, so 3 is a bit of a no-go. Yeah, I think what I might do is I'm not 100% confident about that one. So let's take 1 and 2. Was it? There it is. Yeah, I think what I might do, because these two are quite different, I might pitch these two to Dara and say, right, this is mine and chat's top picks out of all the cursive fonts on my computer. I still recommend the sans serif one. I still think this is the way to go, if I'm being honest. But at least there's that option, you know? And it works with the localization as well. Are you talking about the Dansky logo, Moosh? Branded Leo. Poor Leo, yeah. Tempted to just cover his face in stickers now. Any inspiration for 100 years anniversary logo? Oh my goodness, 100 years. Well, when you first say that, it makes me think of some sort of badge. Some sort of badge or emblem. So how you do this, obviously not these fonts. I don't know what it's 100 years doing. What is the business or brand? So you could have something else here, blah, blah. And then you could even have what they're doing running around the edge. So we could make that a bit bigger. Type on a path, blah, blah, blah. Sans serif font. Very good. Smaller. Yeah. So there's lots of ways you could do it. I mean, I don't know what it is. I'm just completely making this up. You could double up the border, make one thick and one thin. Kind of adds a bit of visual interest. Sorry, we're going off on a tangent now. So we could do something like that. Yeah, you could add some stars in there as well. Blah, blah. Change the font. Sometimes you can add symbols or stars and things that are kind of relevant. Obviously, I'm doing this with zero context whatsoever. There we go. You're a 5-star something. No idea what. There you go. There's a badge. Yeah, kind of like a vintage logo. And you could add a texture or some sort of stippling or something to it. Kind of grunge it up a bit. Make it look a bit weathered. You could also, as well, with a circle, you could add a zigzag effect. Smooth, make the size quite small. And you kind of get like a rosette. Not like that, but you know, you get that sort of rosette style. And we could then apply that again to the outside, so you kind of get a bit creative. That does muck up the text around the outside somewhat, but you could apply different effects like that. Or you could mix it up and do it a different way. Another shape I quite like personally is a 6-sided hexagon. Rotate it so the points are pointing up and down. Scale it up. This can look pretty cool. Make it a bit thinner on the outside. And obviously line it up. We don't want anything out of line. Oh, no, no, no. And then you could round off the corners slightly. This can look quite smart. Or you could pick a slightly more obscure shape. And let's de-round the corners. Get rid of the bottom one. We'll make a connection there. Then we'll round off those corners again. Or we could round off the bottom two. And so you can create really interesting shapes. That's a bit more shield-like, but you can get quite creative with the shape. Obviously, how you run the text around, like on this example here, you couldn't run the text all the way around. But you could, if I could select the text properly. Come on, Dan. There we go. Obviously, that's the wrong way around, but... Flip. Yeah, there we go. So you could run it around the bottom part instead to fit that curve and then leave the top alone. A few different ideas. Hopefully that is helpful. Oh, this one. Yeah. Moosh, I have lots. I think this might even be more than my logo. See, with this one as well, this is the first time that I've done a logo in quite a while for someone. And this wasn't like a paid project. Dario was someone who I met at the back of an airplane. We had a really interesting conversation. And it was just like, I'm getting good vibes from you. And we talked about her logo on the flight. And I was going to actually offer to redesign her logo. And then funnily enough, before I got around to asking her, she actually asked me if I would be open to that. And I said, oh, yeah, that's funny. I was going to ask if you wanted me to. But kind of so I could stream the whole process so you guys could be involved, and there was that like educational angle. You know, I can't just commit time to designing a logo for nothing. It just it's just not feasible. But if there's an educational angle and I can stream it, then yeah, cool. But I think because I hadn't worked on a project for someone like this in a while, my brain was really like, I got to get this good. You know, I can't screw this up. It's got to be sharp. Designing logos on stream just for fun is one thing, but when you're designing it for someone who's quite established as well with a good-sized social following and a business built around it, it's like, this has got to be on point. So, oh my goodness, we did so many different designs. And she knows as well that this was a team effort. Like, she's watched the streams as well. She's seen all these different ideas being inputted. Yeah, I ain't taking credit for all of this. This was a team effort for sure. But it's crazy to kind of look back and see how it's changed. You're a 5-star something. Yeah, I think. Oh, you're welcome. I think as well, if you take that as a starting point and you look up badges, vintage badges, emblems, that kind of thing, you can get loads of ideas for how you can do it. You know, you don't just have to use circles and things. There's loads of different ways you can kind of create shapes and things to just aesthetically make it look a bit more visually interesting. What are the names of the fonts again? Yeah, so here we've got sans serif one at top. We've got Nobel Uno, which is nice and clean. We've got Sophia, Sophia is either an Adobe or a Google font. It's one of those. And we've got Montoas. I think Montoas. That might be in Vato Elements, that last one. I'm not sure. I think Nobel Uno might be as well. Although, to be fair, Nobel Uno, you can find a lot of similar fonts. You know, there's freebies like Inter and Satoshi that you could use in place of that. Very, very similar. Lots of different weights. But, yeah, what else was I going to do today? Oh, yeah, that was it. Right, what am I doing? Yeah, so I asked on YouTube yesterday, I did a poll asking if anyone would be interested in learning Affinity software. I'm going to ask everyone again, because I'm just trying to get lots of opinions. I don't want to go and overload the channel with too much different content. I made that mistake before. And I think I confused everyone by trying to teach too many apps. But it's hard to, you know, it's hard to just ignore Affinity. Like, their software is very good, and they have a very good offer. I got the entire bundle for 50% off. And yeah, I did as well, just in case. They got me with that 50% off. And I gotta be honest, the software runs, in terms of performance, it's absolutely exceptional. It's so fast. And I think whilst it doesn't have a lot of the, like, Illustrator and Photoshop have got some specific features that you might want to use, Affinity can do most of whatever I would need it to do as a designer. I think there's probably a few features that I'd be like, I missed that a little bit. But I was thoroughly impressed how good the entire suite was for, I think it was like 70 or 80 quid. Do you know what I mean? So, like, for the price of 1 month of my Adobe subscription, I got the entire Adobe suite on Mac and PC and on iPad forever, and I own it for life. I think the downside is it's not considered the, like, industry standard, and a lot of companies haven't switched over to it because, like, that Adobe subscription cost, you just kind of, as a business, you write it off. You know, you put it through as a tax write-off or something. You know, you can kind of say it's not too much of an issue. But I think for a lot of freelancers or individual designers or smaller designers, obviously that cost to have access to all the apps can add up over time. Yeah, let's open it up. Let's have a play. Yeah, I pulled the trigger. Yeah, I think I feel like Tony. I feel like a lot of people did this. I feel like they were like, crap, I can't miss out on that insane offer. So they got it. Yeah. Right, hang on. Let me just bring it up on screen. We'll just have a... It's weird at first, but there's a lot of similarities. They're very smart in the way they've made a lot of things very, very similar, even shortcut keys. And a lot of keyboard shortcuts. Zoom in, zoom out, all this fit to screen. This is the same as Illustrator in this example, which is smart because then someone like me coming from Illustrator can just dive straight in. So this is one thing I love. Got lots of shapes. Look at all these. We've got a spiral tool, so you can actually just create a linear spiral from scratch. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I've got a heart tool. There's a QR code tool, so you can actually somehow generate a QR code. I'm not sure if that's an actual QR code that works, or if you have to... Oh, there you go, look. You can actually punch in. So hang on. So if we go QR code, let's change the color to black, and let's set the link to Dansky.com. You can see it changes it in real time as well. So if anyone wants to, I'm going to have a go at scanning that with their phone. So we go. That's pretty awesome. I gotta be honest, that's awesome. Yeah, good point. You've got vector and pixel in the same place. So what other tools have we got? There are a few differences that will catch you out, but once you get used to it, it's honestly not too bad. So what's this one here? This is the corner tool. Contour, is it? Contour? Contour tool, yeah. So no reflect tool like Illustrator, which is a shame, but there's probably a way to do it. But you can adjust you can kind of do like a path offset, but keep it as a live shape still, which is kind of cool. This one here is the corner tool. Yeah, there we go. So you can round off corners. Pen tool with lots of functionality along the top that enable specific controls. We've got a pencil tool. I like the way it kind of has this sort of, you can see it being pulled, like dragging a sled or something. And if I want to redraw a path, where is it? Sculpt. If I turn that on, yeah, there you go. You can see the little line. Can you see that line hovering along? So this is going to be draw a new line. When I see that little line, it tells me I'm going to re-sculpt it. And I know it's going to re-sculpt it now. It's not going to not do it. Whereas sometimes in Illustrator, I'm just drawing over the same line over and over again, and it doesn't re-sculpt it. Whereas if I start there, 100% it's going to redraw it, no doubt. Little additions like that are really damn good. And of course, you've got the stabilizer, which I think... Oh no, that is the little pulley sled. And I forget where it is. There is a way to control how smooth it is. Is it? That's not the length, is it? Oh no, that's the length of the pulley thing. But it makes drawing very large lines quite easy. Yeah, it's cool. Is it smoother than Adobe? In terms of performance, I would say yes. And I think that's because, I don't know this for fact, but when they redid the whole Affinity suite and they launched, as you can see here, Affinity Designer 2, Affinity Photo 2. I wouldn't be surprised if they built it from the ground up. Like I say, I might be wrong with that assumption, but the performance I'm getting is excellent. And to be fair, I've not loaded like a really complex, crazy document in here. But if I let's just do there's a QR code. Let's do that. And then we've got effects. No, not effects. You can see the performance is pretty nifty. Let's try a mesh. So I've got a blur effect applied, and you can see I'm actually just adjusting all this in real time. with a blur effect as well. You can see it takes a second to re-render it there. But this is super responsive. Let's try and add some more. Let's add a 3D one as well, just to try and overload it with stuff. So we're now adding a 3D effect. So I'm messing around with all these properties, trying to make it really complicated, and it's still being very responsive. It's a slightly crap example, but do you get what I mean? Let's 3D. Yeah, this is cool. So it doesn't have the same 3D capabilities that Illustrator has, but it does have some. It's kind of like blending options in Photoshop. Yeah, that's what I would say it's similar to, is bevel. Yeah. Can you draw flames in it? Well, that's a good question. Yeah, because like the curvature tool. How would I draw flames? Yeah, we've got shape border tool. We've got a width tool now as well, which is good. Let's freehand it. Let's see if we can do it with a pencil. Oops. I kind of missed it at the bottom there, didn't I? But you can see it makes it very easy to connect. Oh, I kind of mucked it up there. I don't know if it's got a smooth tool. I like the smooth tool because it's like if I muck something up, I can just just smooth tool it and it fixes it. Oh, I feel like there's a way to smooth it out though. Oh, the brushes are cool. I've got to show you the brushes. Yeah, I need to spend more time playing around in this. Yeah. So this is cool. The way you can just kind of adjust the size of the brush like this super quickly. We've got pencils as well. It's really easy to just access different styles. So we've got, okay, I need a marker. Boom. And you can just click on that. You can make it thinner or thicker and it changes in real time. Yeah. And this stuff's so cool. So I could, I don't know, maybe the brush. Would it be the brush tool? Yeah, look at this. Is that not mesmerizing? That does look pretty cool, actually. Or pencils. We could go with a pencil. Yeah. And then I'm pretty sure if I go and edit this, you can see as I edit it, it kind of updates and adjusts everything. So there's, I think with Affinity, there's certain things, there's certain features it doesn't have, but there's also certain features it does have that Illustrator doesn't. I think there's, like, it doesn't have image trace like Illustrator does. But for me personally, I don't ever use image trace anymore. So Affinity does everything I think you would probably need it to as a graphic designer. Yeah, it does a lot. You can do an awful lot with it. But it depends. If you need those very specific features that Illustrator's got, then that's what you, yeah. Okay, just stick to Adobe. Right, gotcha. I hear you. But this is the thing. There's no reason why I couldn't do an Affinity first class course or something. So I could put together a course for anyone who wants to jump out of that subscription model and just, you know, learn an Affinity product, buy it once, keep it forever, do a course, and then that's it. You're not kind of locked into any subscriptions. There is that option. Yeah, I know. I totally get that, Tony. I appreciate that. I think with me as well, I'm always doing so much and I'm so used to Photoshop. I've got a connection to Photoshop, you know, and a lot of the Adobe apps because I've just used them for so long. So if I need to get something done in a pinch, I usually jump to the Adobe ones because I know how it works. But after playing around with the Affinity ones for a little bit and after recent events, it's like even the app itself is very well designed. Very well designed. There's no big blue obnoxious share button or anything. It's just all very, very clean, very minimal, spaced apart nicely. It's got a good UI design. And so I think if I maybe dedicate a bit more time to sitting down and forcing myself to use it, it will become a bit more familiar. Hey, Heather. I do indeed. I've got my brew. It's gone cold now, though. A7 Man, is it smoother than Adobe? Performance-wise, so far, it's been very smooth. I got to be honest, though, I haven't opened up a ginormous file in it yet. So, you know, you see like these massive dinosaur documents that I've got. I think I need to create something like this in Affinity to really get a test of how stable it is with huge amounts of vector data and raster graphics and stuff. I think once I've done that, I'll have a better understanding. But so far, just working from like a new document, comparing both, yeah, it's very fast. Very fast indeed. Oh, has he? James Martin, made by James. Yeah, that's the chap with the beard, isn't it? That's not very specific. Yeah, he's fully switched or making the switch. Okay, yeah. I got to be honest. If I was still a full-time freelancer, I could probably make that switch because at the end of the day, the clients I worked with, they wouldn't know the difference as long as they get an end product they can use. You know, that's the main thing. I think it's different for me because I teach. Like my whole channel's been built around Adobe, and I've used it for so long. That's why I was doing the polls and asking people because I don't want to overload people by teaching everything, but. Yeah, so it's a bit different for me. I swear he hates Adobe, really. Why do you say that? Has he said something specific? Come on, Reese, let's get some gossip on the go. Hutton, hey, good to see you. Oh, it's been a while, man. How you doing? Yes. You stepped away for a sec. Unacceptable, Moosh. Yeah, no, it's both. It switches. So I'm in the kind of the vector one at the minute, and I've got all these tools, but you can switch to the. This did confuse me at first. You got different personas. They're called personas. I find it a bit weird, but basically, this you can see here. I've got my Illustrator equivalent tool set. If I switch to this persona, though, I get something more like Photoshop. So I could switch to something raster based. And what's that? Is that the brush tool? Yeah. Oh no, where's my brush? New layer. There we go. So now I'm using more raster based brushes. And as you can see, we've got that tasty pixelation there. But if I jump back into Affinity and then do the same thing, nope, not that. Let's get. Where's my normal brushes? Quick, default brush. As you can see, this is vector. So there might be different reasons why you want raster and vector, but it kind of combines both. So this isn't switching to Photoshop, or sorry, Affinity Photo, but you kind of get a lot of those same tools that are in Affinity Photo. So it's good really because you can. Have you got adjustment? Yeah, you got adjustment layers. So if you're bringing in photos, for example, you've got lots of different adjustment layers. The stuff you would get in Photoshop. You can work on an image, and you can work on the design as well. Whereas normally I would do the design in Illustrator and I would do the Photoshop work in Photoshop and have to merge them together. So bring that PSD file into Illustrator. Whereas in this, you can do both in the same app, which, if you want to, which is pretty cool. Oh, did you? He makes jokes all the time about how he said things about Adobe, and that's why he won't be asked to speak at Max. Yeah. How are you liking Affinity? Yeah, no, it's good. Initial impressions are very impressed. Performance is good so far. The UI is very easy to understand. It's clear. Don't think I've had any bugs. Maybe one. I can't remember, but it's been a very smooth experience. They're smart because a lot of keyboard shortcuts are the same as Illustrator and Photoshop, respectively. So if you're coming from those apps, they've made it easy to jump in, and all the same keyboard shortcuts work for most things. Yeah. So it's yeah, impressed. Not to, I mean, not to mention the price and the offering. If you don't want to be tied into a subscription, you know. Oh no, I've not seen this presentation. No. Yeah, I think the T's and C's issue rightly upset a lot of people, and I think what's your reason for using Affinity? I got with the 50% deal, so I was like, that's insane. 50% off for the whole thing forever on Mac, PC, and iOS or iPad OS, whatever it's called. I was like, I'm having that just in case. And I think for me personally as well, like I'm not specifically talking about Adobe, but there's a lot of companies in the last few years that I feel like they don't have my best interests at heart. And I don't know, maybe you guys feel like this as well or not. Maybe it's just me. But big corporations, I feel like it's become too easy for them to forget who their customers are and to upset their customers. And, you know, it's one of those things that it feels like unnecessary and avoidable. A lot of that stuff that happened, it comes down to communication, you know? And I think in that specific example with the T's and C's, I think things were just not communicated well. And I think it upset a lot of people. And I think trust with a lot of big companies is probably lower than it's ever been, just in general across the board. And I think it's like anything, isn't it? If you've got companies and, you know, you've got one company at the top and they start to upset their customer base multiple times and then they do it in a big way with something like that, with the T's and C's issue, and it's bad enough that it causes a lot of long-time users to jump ship, I think it just inevitably is going to kind of open up a door for other companies to kind of jump in and swoop in and kind of grab some of those people that are feeling like what's the word? It's not disenfranchised, but is it? They're just feeling a bit peed off, really. You know, to put it bluntly, they're just feeling a bit peed off, and I think So I don't know what's happening with it now, though. That kind of had its moment in the spotlight a couple months ago, I think. So Moosh, I got it. Yeah. So okay, Reese got it for $89. Yeah, I think mine was about £70 or £80 UK, something like that. Oh, nice. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, Hutton. Even if I don't do content for Affinity on the channel, which might confuse my entire audience, there's no reason to say that I wouldn't create courses for it on Dansky.com. Because then what it does is it gives people a, I think as we've just talked about here, it's one of those things. It's like, you know, some software so much that it's like scary having to go back to learning something from scratch. And so a lot of people will stay in that subscription model because it's, you know, you've got to make that jump. But to be able to get the software where you buy it once and you own it forever, and then if there was a course, for example, that was reasonably priced that would bring you up to speed, you have a route then to get out of the subscription model if you want to. So oh, that's very kind of you, Moosh. Maybe one day someone will invite me to say something. Betrayed. Yeah, well, MS Paint is the GOAT, obviously. I don't know. Check their Twitter, Shubham. I'm not sure if it was like a limited time thing or something. 37 euros. Wow, nice. You did well there, Raquel. Very good. Right, let's do a quick segue. It's been a while. It's been a while. Hang on. Right, so for anyone who's just joined, I've launched 2 new courses, Photoshop First Class and Illustrator First Class. These are both coming out on the 20th of October. And you can pre-order them here if you are interested. And this is going to be beginner all the way through to like very intermediate stuff. That's the kind of level this course is at. So you've got things like you can see here, creating these scenes using different images, adding shadows, cutting products out, displacement maps. There is some advanced stuff in here. You know, completely retouching this burger and building a 3D scene from 2D images, cutting out hair. I'll wait for the little carousel to come back. Come on, there's more pictures. Working with mock-ups, so adding kind of text to realistic clothing, cutting out the hair around it in a really easy way. Just a whole bunch of stuff. If you want to check this out, the Photoshop one has a trailer that you can watch right here that will kind of show you a bit more in detail. And, oh yeah, looks cool. Oh, that was the stylistic alternates I was telling you about. Yeah, got that Oreo text in there. Finally cracked that. Yeah, so definitely check out the trailer if you are interested. And then the Illustrator one, similar story. Got some pictures, illustrations, posters, Celtic knots and graphics and patterns, all that kind of stuff. And there is a trailer that I'm working on at the minute, but it's not finished. So, and if you are interested, if you're like, oh, I like the sound of his voice, I can tolerate this ginger, I want to learn both of these apps, don't miss out on the bundle down here. It's kind of hiding down the bottom. You can get both and save a little bit of money as well. So there we go. End of segue. Right. I'm not all here today. It's fine, Moosh. I know you feel. I'm not here most days. Yeah, I think it's definitely on the cards, Reese, if it's something people want. Again, it's like I can teach loads of different stuff, and the goal for me right now for the next, well, the rest of this year and next year is just getting the stuff out my brain that I've learned over the last 20 years and downloading it into courses that I can then give to people and get it into their brains. Otherwise, it's just, if it stays in my head, it's all just wasted, you know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's options, isn't it? On your website, what's the difference from purchasing the masterclass and the new courses you have launched in October? I was about to purchase the masterclass, but have seen the 2 new courses. Okay, so let's turn off System of a Down for a second. Okay, so the way I'd probably explain it is we're going to get really technical now with a little diagram. Let's get the names right as well. Illustrator 2025. Okay. Stack these up actually. So there is going to be a new masterclass coming, but it's going to be slightly different. So I draw a timeline. Let's get some color. There we go. See, this is why I love using Illustrator. You can literally just use it for anything. Right, so we've got beginner level stuff. Intermediate. And then we'll call it super advanced. That's the best of what I can teach. Let's go with black. So each of these, I'm just going to give a little kind of graph diagram thing and show you kind of where I think each one kind of sits. Let's move it over so my face isn't in the way. Right, so this is the new first class that's just gone up. This is another one that I talked a bit about earlier on, but this will be coming early next year. It's kind of version 2 of the masterclass, and this is the current one. So the current masterclass, that was my first course, and it basically goes from a complete beginner, and will teach you pretty much everything you need to know about Illustrator, and I'd say it probably goes to about there. So when I'm kind of labeling this as super advanced, this is probably the best of what I can teach. And it's going to be, the new masterclass will be more project-based. So whereas the current masterclass goes from a complete beginner and it packages that whole process into one course, this one here, actually, hang on, if I use that line, there we go. So I would say that the first class kind of probably lands about there, but it's just, there we go, something like that. And I would say that the masterclass, oh, hang on, I might have to redraw this line. Hang on. Oh no. Come on, Dan. There we go. Is that helpful? That's my like best guess. So yeah, don't worry too much about the length of the lines. It's not that this one's going to teach less, but the new masterclass is going to be more large projects. So let's say 5 or 6 large projects. It's going to be really advanced. So one of them might be designing a full stationery set, business cards, letterheads, all that stuff. One might be a poster. The other might be an illustration. I've got some stuff I'm working on I can't show you just yet, but I do want to involve everyone in the process because these courses have, well, the masterclasses for Photoshop and Illustrator haven't been made yet. So if you're thinking, oh, I would love for Dan to be able to show me how to design something in a new masterclass, let me know, because like this is a chance to kind of have an input into that. Yeah, so and these two courses, the first class and the master class, they're designed in a way where they pair really well together. You know, you'll learn all the fundamentals in the first class one, and it's a lower price, and you might be like, hey, that's good, that's enough for me, I don't need any more, thank you very much, and that's fine. But you might get to the end and think, oh, that was amazing, I really want to learn more, teach me everything you know, Ginger. And then you've got the masterclass, which is kind of a continuation. So we're not going to cover the basics. You'll have covered that already. But we'll go to the most advanced stuff I can create. Which whereas the current masterclass goes all the way from a beginner and it delves right into some advanced stuff like using the mesh tool, which is really difficult, and just loads and loads of things. You can see a lot of the graphics on the website, the kind of stuff we'll be creating. But this one will be more project based. Whereas this is focused very much on kind of learning the different tools and applying them. This whole masterclass will have a different structure. Does that make sense? Hopefully I've explained that in a way that's helpful. Essentially, James, yeah, you're right. So first class and masterclass, they're like two peas in the pod, part 1 and part 2. A lot of people might just only want part 1 and that will sort them out. So then that's there, it's more accessible, which means I can help teach more people around the world, which is great. But for the people who want to learn everything I know and they want to kind of practice with like lots of in-depth projects, then there will be the masterclasses that will go into that detail. But if you were thinking, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, if you've got any more questions and you want to kind of email me off stream, I'll try and be as helpful as I can. There's my email. But if you, with all of the courses, you get a 14-day money back guarantee anyway. Like if someone enrolls in a course and they're like, this just isn't for me, you know, you can have your money back, no questions. It's like, so there's no risk to anyone. So if you were to, let's say, try this one now, you gave it a go and you were like, I'm not sure about this or whatever, just let me know, refund your money, no problem. Or with this one as well, from the launch date, you've got 14 days. So I've tried to make it as like risk-free as possible. So, you know, you either get a great course and you learn some stuff, or you get your money back if it's not right for you. So yeah, 0 risk. Enjoy the weather before it gets miserably cold. Oh, I'm sure it will. Catch you later, Hutton. See you later. No, the courses aren't free. These are paid courses, but I've tried to make the new first class ones as accessible as possible. Hopefully this mess of a diagram is helpful. Hey, Franco, how you doing? I made it to a live. Yes, please teach me the way. Oh yeah, it's exciting. It's exciting for me as well. I mean, I've put so much work into like these new courses and getting the new website done and editing the trailer. And this morning I was like wrapping it all up and publishing the new website live, and it was just like super stressful. It was like just making like the whole new website with the Photoshop page, right? It was this was all set to go live, yeah, the whole new site, and I was like, Poppy, let's just check through everything. And then when she went through it, she was like, Dan, you haven't uploaded the trailer to the Photoshop page. I was like, oh no, quick, upload the Photoshop trailer. There's just so many different moving parts and things to think about. How much are the courses? So it should say on Dansky.com. Yeah, so the new ones are 79. That's pounds UK, so I'm not sure what that converts to. And then you've got the masterclass, which is a bit more. But to be fair, the masterclass teaches more. Like it just has like a wider span. So if you want to go from not knowing anything to learning as much as you can about Illustrator as quickly as possible, the masterclass is the way to go, because it will just, as I've kind of tried to demonstrate, it covers like a huge amount of stuff. But yeah. Anyway, that's enough about that. Sorry, I've drawn this in the logo design document. Let's get rid of that. Okay, cool. Right, thank you for your help on this as well. I'm going to pitch those to Daria and we'll get this one boxed off. We've got Ian's. No, not Ian. Sorry, Jason. I keep going to call Jason Ian for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe he was Ian in a past life or something. I don't know. Okay, where is it? It's the Inspired Life. Where is it? Yeah. Yeah, so this is the fella who's got a really cool drawing style. We played around with architecture a little bit. And the logo is called The Inspired Life. I love this one. Someone suggested a pencil before, and then I kind of applied it to this diagram that represents lighting and shading with solids, solids lines, and then like just nothing whatsoever. So yeah, we're going to pick this one up next because, well, we need to get a move on. Yeah. There we go. Turning the Empire State Building. I think that's the Empire State Building, isn't it? Into a pen of sorts. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. Yeah, Jason's got a really cool style. I thought I had it in the document, but I've obviously not added it yet. It's kind of like drawing, but it's very sort of scribbly. Not in like an immature way. It's like a very specific style, but then he uses watercolor as well to add splashes of color, and pink is like his signature. It's really cool. It's a cool style, and I want to try and get that into the logo as well. Hasta luego. Catch you later, Tony. Webflow Moosh. Webflow. Need Moosher on it. Dansky.com. Sorry, yeah, I'm talking about the courses and I haven't actually linked the damn thing. See, this is what happens when Poppy disappears. Whoops. I'm terrible at marketing. All right, we all know this. It's no secret. There you go. I'll have a look after the stream, Franco. Oh, you like the Empire Pen idea? Yeah, his style is very much based around architecture. So I was also experimenting here. He likes photography as well. So I had kind of a bridge idea that had a sun, and then it sort of became like a camera. I feel like it went a bit weird. You can see the initial bridge idea there. But then I tried to turn it into a camera, and I don't really know if that works. But yeah, I do have a very specific idea in my head. It's really annoying. It's like an idea that I can't seem to shake. Every time I think about this logo, I keep coming back to this one idea. The Inspired Life. Where's my music gone? Do 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 do. There we go. Very nice. Yeah, the idea is like a letter I, and I wanted to integrate the architecture as well. So I'm going to try and draw this now. I don't know how this is going to turn out. In fact, hang on, let's just shuffle this around. I've got my pen display here. So I've got this idea in my head for an eye. Why is my flow? There you go. No, 30% was about right. Yeah, I've got this idea in my head for like an eye. And every time I think of this logo, I don't know if it's a sign that I need to run with this idea. Something like this that's got some sketch lines as well. I don't know, something like this with a splash of like watercolor. I don't actually have any watercolors to hand, but I don't know. We'll see, that looks awful, but Yeah, I don't know. There's definitely an idea there that I keep coming back to. Then I was thinking about architecture, about the eye. Is there a way that you could give it some sort of depth? Do you know what I mean? Like, so the shadowing is kind of almost like a bit of an illusion of sorts. Whoa, finger slippage. Steady on down. Yeah, trying to. If I could turn the eye into some sort of architecture, like he did have a lighthouse before as one idea. I would be totally lost, Noosh. I'd just be floundering. It'd be like Team America, just. Yeah, well, that was actually what I was thinking, Raquel, initially, was I think you might have seen it here, the Tourist Information Office, because I was thinking, oh, what a different way to represent architecture and landmarks, tourism. I don't know if there's kind of a link there. So I was thinking about leaning on that. Not in too much of an obvious way. Yeah, a bit more subtle. But yeah, trying to turn it into... I mean, this kind of looks like a pillar. The shape of an eye is very much like a pillar. So, I don't know. Maybe we could... My architecture's not very good. You know, you get that sort of... You know what I'm trying to do. You know, the... So try and turn this into a piece of architecture. Obviously not like that. It looks like the things you put on a turkey. What is this rubbish? Okay, sorry. We'll keep going. We'll keep going. So this is fine. This is fine. Okay. So I'll try and turn it into a turkey-based pillar. Do you know what I'm getting at? Please tell me you know what I'm getting at. There we go. Like a statue or something. A column, yes. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to go with the dot on the eye, but yeah, something like that. How about turning the dot on the eye to a droplet or something? Yeah, I suppose you could do. I mean, another way of... You just gave me another idea, actually, in that you could... No, that might look like a carrot, but it's not. It's meant to be a brush. You could turn that into like a brush. Oh yeah, this feels good. I've not worked on this in a good week or so now. We're coming back to it, Jason. Jason, also known as Ian, sort of. Sorry. Oh, what about... You know, you get those optical illusions that are like a twisting staircase. They're like impossible. How would I... How would I do that? Start with a base. And add the top. Yeah, like they twist. Escher. Is that what it's called? If it is, I've learned something today. Kind of. Yeah, it's sort of along those lines. I did learn something there, thank you. Penrose. Yes, that's a bit more like it. But specifically with a column. So how would this look? Yeah, something kind of like that. Yeah, something like that. That looks terrible, but with a bit more, maybe a different perspective. So if I were to kind of have this as the top and then add some perspective by drawing this smaller. Let's try and draw it in line down, that will help. Yeah. Something, oh no, yeah, the perspective, the bottom's wrong. That's better. Yeah, that's it. So you can't see the bottom, but you can see the top. But something like that, but in a more architectural design. So whether it's like a ladder or some sort of structure. And again, I could even implement that hatching on there as well. It is, yeah, I suppose it is a bit like DNA, Kevin. Yeah, you're right. Like, I think what I would do is if I was going to do this design, I would look up some more architectural images and take inspiration from actual architecture. It could even be a column. So I could take an actual column and maybe I could use Blender or something to twist it. Or the blend tool in Illustrator, maybe. Yes, this is for a logo for a chap called Jason, not Ian, Jason. And the logo is called The Inspired Life. We started this, I think, a couple of weeks ago now, and it's time to pick it back up. Yeah, so in terms of the circle, yeah, it could almost be. That could be. Yeah, it could be quite interesting. Or we could shroud that half in darkness. Is it a fountain pen hourglass? No, not really. So I'm kind of playing around with ideas like the eye. Yeah, so just playing around with the letter I to see if I can kind of do anything with it. Yeah, I think, yeah, maybe that would look good, Franco. If I blend it as a straight line and then inside the blend group, switch one of them, it should hopefully create the twist. I wonder what happens if I search Google for twisting architecture. Hmm. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, let me show you this. Yeah, I suppose it is a bit like an hourglass, isn't it? So we could kind of do something like that. And then that would come down there. Yeah, maybe there's some... Oh, we could actually do something nice and minimal. Ooh, that could look quite cool. The thing is, my normal kind of logo style, as you guys probably know now, is very kind of clean and geometric. And that's not really kind of Jason's style. His is much more sketchy, scribbly, with splashes of watercolor. So it's going to be interesting kind of trying to design a logo that I want to design one that mimics his style or is either a fusion of both of our styles. So ideally, something that's really clean, like how I would normally design, but then incorporate some of the artistic flair of his work, his style, because he does have a very specific style. Yeah, this could look nice, actually. That could be cool. The blend tool can do it. Yeah. Search the Infinity column. Nice one. Cheers, Will. Let's have a look. Ha! Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to architecture, there's so many different ideas. Gherkin in London. Sorry, I totally read that wrong then. I was thinking about just gherkins. Oh, yeah. The gherkin. Such a terrible name. Maybe don't mention that around Poppy. She loves gherkins. But I like the pattern. The pattern that comes down. The eye could be made from negative space in a fountain pen nib. Okay. Yeah, where's my... Done a couple. So the fountain pen nib. How would you... By the way, if anyone wants to mock anything up, difficult for me to understand ideas in a text chat. So if you want to scribble something and email it to me, do let me know. Yeah. I do like this idea. I love this one. I wonder if that would work with this design, actually. Yeah, ooh. What about... So, how could I do this? Maybe this could be stripes. And down here, it could be solid black. Trying to mimic that style a bit. Maybe a few more lines. Don't want to go too much detail though, because at a small size, if I had too many small lines, it might be hard to read, but that could work. And then keep the top open. And something for the dot. If the dot even is there, you know? Or the dot could even be a splat, just a splat of watercolor. Maybe, I don't know. Not sure. Or, oh, another idea. More ideas. No, 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 no. Let's turn that into a pencil. Yeah, possibly. Something like that. Or the pencil could be pointing down. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know what you mean. Fountain pen. Sorry. I was thinking of a mechanical pencil. Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean by fountain pen. Oh, yeah, it's been a while since I've... Fountain pen like that, yeah. The eye could be made from the negative space. Oh, what? These lines here? Yeah, let's try it. Yeah, and I feel like you're right. I feel like there is an idea here somewhere. It's just how it fits into the rest of the design as well. Okay, let's try what you said. I'm just leaning down to kind of draw directly on the pen display. I've got a pen display, but it's much easier drawing directly on the screen rather than kind of looking forward. So, yeah. So what you're saying is vertical. Oh, yeah, that does look cool, actually. I like that. Another idea is to have it follow the contours a little bit. Oh, I see what you mean. The dot in the nib. What did I get rid of? Oh, I see what you mean. Hang on. All right, come on. Let's... Okay. Right. Yeah, I think I see what you mean. So you have the eye. That is the eye surrounded by the nib. Do you know, I like that idea actually, because this is kind of very, it's like a structure. It's almost like it could be an architectural shape in itself. Nice, thank you. We could even get a bit creative with this. I wonder. I need to find out what medium, remind myself what medium Jason uses. I think it does look like he uses a pen of sorts, but I'm not 100% sure. That could be really cool. I like that. Good job, Laser Highway. I love that. You sent an email. Okay, let me have a look. Oh, I see. So you've gone the other way. Nice. Okay, let's try it. So this is what Franco's just sent me. Okay, so flat top. And this could be quite nice because actually I'm drawing, these curves are obviously awful that I'm drawing here, but I'm freehanding this, but I could make that so clean. Hang on, let's move it up. We're going to crash into it, the other one. Yeah, and then I guess we could go up into the eye. Obviously, that's not as central as I would like it. Yeah, I like that. I like both of those. Yeah, I wonder if I could get a serif in there. Let's do a serif. Go a bit lower. Oh, I love this song. I wish I could sing. I would start singing for everyone if I had a good singing voice. Okay. Okay. I don't know why. I keep coming back to a serif. It must be like an instinctual thing. So let's shrink you down and then get that fountain pen shape. Where can I connect that? Could I connect that to the edge maybe? Could work. So how's this connection going to happen down here? So that comes down. Oh, that could be kind of cool. Maybe sort of keeping the kind of the bottom open. I'm not sure. Sometimes it's just experimenting on kind of where you put the cuts or where you break bits away. Yeah, I think all of those have got good ideas. You could definitely make it work. Oh, Raquel's sent me one as well. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, so you've gone with a straight one. Let's try that. Thank you very much, Raquel. Okay, let's start with the top. Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's something about this that would be so... It leans into my style so much of just lining up the angles. I love that. That's so cool. Yeah, so similar, but without the twist. A bit more perspective as well. And it's almost like an illusion. What was that word? Was it Escher? Is it an... Like, how would you describe that type of illusion? Would you say it's an Escher or it's a... Hey, still not me. How you doing? My phone's autocorrect makes your name Donkey. Hey, you can call me Donkey if you like. Hey, Donkey. Dansky, Donkey, you know. Potato, potato. Penrose. Yeah, okay. I need to look that up. Escher Penrose. We're designing for Jason, who I don't think's here at the moment. But he might be lurking. Do we have any other lurkers on stream? Who's lurking? Who's lurking but hasn't said hello yet? Yeah, would you add the dot there maybe? Could do, I suppose. Could even do something here. This looks like a pie chart with angles and bits and pieces. So you could actually do... I don't know if that's too much. Like Something with angles, I don't know. Maybe. It almost looks like a person in a weird way, kind of like with their body crossing their legs or something. I don't know. I dot or no? No I. I feel like it needs something. I feel like that's on its own isn't enough. James, you're lurking. Hey, Sean Labrie. Welcome. I just connected one vertice from the upper diamond to the equivalent. Next. Is that vertice or vertice? No, that's how you say it, isn't it? Vertice, yeah. Okay, I caught up now. I'm with it. I'm with it. Raja, hello. Looks like the legs of someone walking. It does have a kind of, especially with the head, it's like a human element. They've got legs but no arms and no body or torso or anything. Just a head and a set of legs. These are good ideas. These are really cool. I love the pen idea. I love this idea. I still like the original pencil idea. But it'd be so cool if we could get something that has like a bit of 3D to it. I need to find Jason's style as well. Let me open up Jason's email, because it's all very well me talking about it, but until you see his style, it's kind of hard to explain it, you know? Yeah, like this. Oh, hang on. Sorry, you can't see. This kind of thing. How I'm going to get that watercolor into the design. I mean, he doesn't always do it, but he did say that he has a splash of pink that's kind of his signature. So maybe even if it's a splash of pink in a watercolor splodge. Yeah, this is a cool one. In fact, I feel like I should try and screenshot this one, because that is like an eye shape, so I feel like I could draw a lot of inspiration there. But you see what I mean about his style? It's not like everything's clean and crisp. It's like it is, I don't want to say messy, but that his style is very artistic. Messy sounds a bit like negative, but it's more sketched, rough, rather than everything being perfectly perfect. Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah. So this logo, in my opinion, has to reflect his style because it's just such a cool style. Whoops. So even if I drew this clean and everything, I could actually roughen that up in Illustrator. There is a scribble effect in Illustrator. So if I just draw that line, you can go to scribble. And you've got lots of different options here. Yeah, so you see that's a bit more like Jason's style there. Bit of variation in it as well. So I could do a clean design and then apply some sort of effect to it, maybe. We're getting there, Roger. Yeah, we're getting there. Hey, Martin, how you doing? Hey, Andrea, welcome. You managed to join us. How you doing? Do you genuinely try to keep your brand marks square so they fit in icons and favicons? I wouldn't say I generally do, but I have that as a consideration. Probably less favicons, more website headers. Obviously, favicons are important, but I think the website header for me is like a big one. Like, you know, sometimes I'll see a logo that's like this, and then it'll have a big thing and a big thing there, and I'm like, that ain't gonna fit in a website header. Do you know what I mean? So it might be like logo, and then it'll be, oh yeah, cool. And my advice would be like, maybe get rid of one or get rid of both or something, or yeah, yeah. I'm very keen on those sorts of considerations. Yeah, it's a cool style, Zakir, isn't it? You can put the watercolor on the filling of the different faces of the twisted prism. Yeah, maybe just one face. Maybe just that one. Or I could have it, even if it's watercolor, I could have it so it's dripping down. Like, just imagine if, let me try this. I want to go with the pink because he said the pink is his signature. Oops, wrong blending mode. Yeah, this is cool. This is very different to my normal style. I like this. This is going to be a challenge. And there's so many. I wouldn't say it's easy, but there's a lot of like the scope of ideas is pretty big because architecture's got so many amazing shapes in itself. So you could have the watercolor kind of, obviously it might not be solid pink. It might, yeah, I don't know how to do it. Do you use photorealistic watercolor and have a raster graphic in the logo? Or do you try and simulate watercolor with a vector? So you've kind of got watercolor in some sense. Or maybe a gradient would look cool. Let's try a bit of feathering. Obviously, you've got to be careful with gradients sometimes with printing, but you could maybe do something like that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it could look cool. I just watched the trailer for the Photoshop course. Okay, honestly, Andrea, what did you think about it? What did you like about it? Was it good? Did you not like it? I'd love to know what your honest thoughts are. Imagine the dot in the eye has pink color and it bursts. Yeah, something like that. I think the biggest challenge is how do I represent watercolor in a vector? What about if... Let's go back to Envato Elements. I wonder if they've got any good watercolor. See what I get back. I want a brush, a Photoshop brush or something. That's what I want. Oh, it's an action. No, so I'm gonna yeah, we'll search for brushes. Do a search for watercolor. Yeah, this is, I think this is probably what I want. Just grab a bunch of these. See, do you see what I mean about Envato Elements being so useful? Just literally like, oh yeah, I need this. Grab it all. Realistic. Yeah, we'll grab those as well. I'll come back later and just grab everything. They're quite nice as well. It wouldn't be vector stamping in a brush like that, but there's ways I could get around it by making the final logo really big. That could be a good one. Yes, please. We'll download that for now. I'll play around with the rest later. Okay, let's get rid of that pink. And we'll try a... As you can see, I've got a lot of brushes. Pretty much all of these almost are from Envato Elements, so... I'm just like a walking Envato Elements billboard at this point. Great platform, though. Great platform. Yeah, look at that. Ooh. Yeah, this is a bit more like what was in my head. Or... What other shapes have we got? If you do end up watching this later, Jason, and you're part of the replay crew, hello. Hope you're well. And if you are watching this and you've got any thoughts on all of this and what you see me doing, definitely let me know. Any pointers for what is or isn't in the right direction is always awesome. This is getting closer to the idea I had in my head at the very beginning. Something with watercolor, but not too much. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. This is cool. Oh, is there a watercolor effect? Oh, if there is, I've never used it. Sorry, where was it? Oh, down here. Oh, I never use these in Illustrator, yeah. I don't know if it's gonna... look any good. Yeah. I never really use these in Illustrator because they're sort of raster based. And I think you get a better result in Photoshop. But Sean says, hi, I've been Sean DeCosta. That's such a cool name. Love that. I've been struggling with watercolor design for a tee for ages, so interested to see how you do it. Yeah, me too. Me too. I'll let you know when I figure it out. I mean, those brushes I used, they're pretty high res. Could be higher. Oh, wait, hang on. No, these are pretty big. Yeah, this one here, 2,500 pixels. Yeah, I mean, I suppose at the end of the day, what Jason does is he does teaching online as well. And I think, I can't remember, he either does or he's going to be doing his own courses and that sort of stuff. So, yeah, that'll be another conversation. Because obviously you've got to consider how, if it's non-vector, like a brush you're stamping in, how's that going to translate? But the reality is you could very easily do a logo in Photoshop. You really could. Just make it high res enough to be used at the maximum size it's going to be. Like if you were going to print this on the side of a vehicle or a van or a bus or something, you know, obviously you've got to make sure that that logo you designed was designed at that sort of, with that scale in mind. That's where vector's superior, because you could just scale it up to the size of a building if you needed to. But yeah, I think we'll be all right. But I do like that. Oh, I wonder about... Let's change the color. And this is obviously all very rough at the minute, so anyone who's joined and thinking, what the heck is this guy doing? This is all rough. Yeah, we could get some other colours in there, I suppose. Yeah, maybe a yellow, pink and blue might be a nice palette. I don't know. Maybe some shading. Also, totally unrelated, but Poppy's finally got me watching Squid Games. I hadn't seen it before. Has anyone else here not seen Squid Games or has seen Squid Games? I know the next season comes out in December, but she's finally got me watching the first season. Yeah. Huh, interesting. What do you think to that? For someone with 1% skills in Photoshop, it looks fantastic. I can't wait for it to come out. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be quite surprised, Andrea, because it will start with the course will cover the basics, but actually it will get into some pretty advanced stuff as well. Like if you might have seen in the trailer, the guitar in the water. And it's very difficult and actually quite easy to make very fundamental mistakes in Photoshop. And I know because I've done it myself for years. But actually with the right instruction and learning the different blending modes and the different adjustment layers, doing stuff like dunking an object halfway into water is actually quite easy. It's just one of those things once you know it. Splash of color around the logo behind it. Yeah, possibly. Like the dots. He's got like the sort of dots spray. So I think I'll probably need to keep this reference close. I don't know about the grey. I don't think the grey is the way to go. And maybe this. Like a lot of his watercolor doesn't actually cover the whole thing. So I might use the same watercolor brush to cut short that at the bottom. It's my instinct to make everything perfect and inside the lines. And it needs to be darker as well. That's why it's handy having this reference image here. Yeah, gonna have to get messy with this one, I think. Once I get this sort of shape right. Deutsche Telekom. Oh, grey magenta. Oh, amazing, Alfred. Oh, I'm glad you liked it. I'm glad you liked it. I spent a lot of time obsessing over the trailer. It's because, like, I'm not... like, I've obviously been a video editor with YouTube for, like, the last 10 years. but it's not what I do. Like, I'm a designer through and through. Photoshop, Illustrator, that's my kind of jam. Whereas editing video is something that I've kind of learned out of necessity, really. Oh, I see. Yeah, if you match those two faces, it becomes an impossible form. Gotcha. Okay. I think you can improve the one above that. What's the one above that? Oh, which one? Which one? This one here? Or there's something about this one as well. This is the idea in my head, the original idea. It's like a very sketched out eye with watercolor, two-dimensional. So I will try splatting that with some... Actually, no, I'm going to do it now. If I can find out where it is. There you are. Oh man, music and design is the best. All right, let's grab you, my fellow watercolor splat. Kind of looks pretty cool with the sketching, because obviously everything I'm doing is just terrible and rough. But it kind of... doing it in this rough way with the lines being very imperfect does actually, I think, is a bit closer to Jason's style. He does like a lot of vertical lines as well. And maybe I need to do that more. That's the closest to my original vision. When I first even knew I was going to do this, it was like that's what was in my head. Like an eye, but then almost with a grid as well. Something like that. The dot on the I reminds me of a registration mark. Yeah, Raquel said earlier it's a little bit like, make sure you don't make it too tourist information office-y with that like very recognizable eye. But then I was kind of thinking I wouldn't mind leaning into that a little bit, because when you think of tourist information office, you think of landmarks, you think of architecture. And Jason does like doing photography and going around and essentially being a not a tourist, but a photographer of landmarks. So I don't know. Maybe you could lean into that a wee bit. Don't know. But I do need some... There you are. We need some proper serifs on here. This will not do. And I've deliberately kept the serif off the right. I don't know why. I just think it looks cool. Gives it a bit of a one-sided edge almost. Yeah, I think you're right. I think the watercolor doesn't. The watercolor, I'm going to have to look over a lot of his work. I want the watercolor to mimic his style. As you can see, lines don't really mean anything. But my instinct is to keep everything in the lines. So I've got to kind of fight that instinctual, let's keep everything organized and clean. It's like, nope, that ain't Jason's style. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I know what you mean. Registration marks. I'm with you. I'm with you. I caught up. Oh, these are cool ideas. Yeah, these are really cool, actually. This one from Raquel. I like that straight one. This is kind of my original. And then something with the fountain pen, maybe. But I need to check what Jason uses. I don't know if he actually uses a fountain pen for drawing, but I still like that idea. Yeah, sketched feeling. Right, I just got to double check that me and Poppy were supposed to do a fitness class tonight, and I think it's been cancelled. I'm just going to triple check. Okay. Okay, it doesn't look like it doesn't. Got a message, Poppy. It doesn't look cancelled. Basically, we've got a fitness class in 45 minutes. Poppy told me at the start of the stream it's cancelled. I'm looking at it now. It doesn't look cancelled. How many hours have you been streaming? Oh, I think we're nearly at 3 hours. That's gone quick. That has gone so fast. Doesn't feel like it. It's easy when you do what you love, and you've got such good company. Love doing it. It's a joy. Well, yeah, I don't know, Reese. This is the thing. She might have just said it's cancelled. But if she's saying it's cancelled and I'm still booked on, if you don't turn up, you get a strike. You get 3 strikes and you get like a penalty or something. I'll do that. Yeah, that's because you're a cheeky sausage. I need to get... Shall I get her on the phone? Hang on. Let's give her a jingle. Hey, you there?
Oh, yeah. That was weird.
Hey, I'm still streaming. You're on speakerphone.
Oh.
Is the class still on?
No. Children. It's cancelled. The guy Matt who runs it called me up and said it's cancelled because they're doing some maintenance work.
Right. Okay. Because I just looked at it and it's like Matt 6 spaces available.
He's tried to they've tried to cancel it on the system, but obviously it's like too hard, so they just had to call everyone.
Oh, no one. Oh, I had a call, but I ignored it.
Yeah, that'd be him.
Okay. Yeah, Reese just said, "Did Poppy say it's cancelled so she doesn't have to go?" You're a bit sus. People, I think they're onto you.
I wanted to go.
Yeah, I know.
Where's the stream going?
We actually had childcare as well. We could have actually gone together.
I'm like, I'm gonna take up this opportunity just to keep them busy.
Hey?
And I'm at my mum's because I'm using this opportunity to just keep the boys busy so I can have a cup of tea in peace.
Oh, nice. Oh, that sounds lovely. Oh, say hi to your mum for me.
I will.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, I guess I can get back to designing the letter I.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds written. I'll jump back on the stream.
Yeah, you better.
Eli wants to say something.
Go on then.
I've really got a really bad bleed on my finger.
He cut his finger.
Oh no! How'd you manage that?
It's not a bad bleed. It's like a tiny little graze.
You weren't trying to eat your own finger, were you?
No, when I was at the park and I found some friends and I hurt myself.
Oh dear. Poor boy. Don't sing Titanic. I'll get copyright claimed by YouTube.
Mum,
This is just chaos.
Right. Well, you have fun with that chaos. Catch you later. Bye. Oh, they're adorable. Oh, funny. Right, where did we get to? I can't remember. Oh, you got a CrossFit class. Nice. That's a good question to ask, what his favourite building or landmark is. I should ask that. I'll write that down, actually. I can't type. In the brief, he mentions that. I will have to go and look back over that. Did I put the brief in here? Did he put his favourite? Good memory if he did. Yeah, signature colour in my artwork is neon pink, only used in a few places, so I love that. I don't know if he... Loose, more than technical and precise. Pens, ink, watercolour and pencils. Oh, I love the Brooklyn Bridge, New York, Statue of Liberty. Ah, oh, Raquel, you've got a good memory. Okay, so that could be quite interesting to draw inspiration from those. Maybe integrate that in those sketches. Let's get rid of that. We've just answered that question. Thank you, Raquel. Always got your eye on the brief. Very good. There's just me getting lost in Wonderland. Oh yeah, I'm just going to make a pretty letter I. Oh, that looks nice. We'll go with that. You literally are the brief guardian. Well, I'm glad someone's paying attention. You're there to rein me in, and I get a bit carried away. Huh. Yeah, Brooklyn Bridge. Let's have a look at that. Maybe there's elements of that I could integrate. Okay, lots and lots of lines. That could be cool. Ooh, this is interesting. This kind of structure here for the bridge kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the pen and pencil ideas. This sort of shape. And the lines as well. Obviously the parts of the bridge that kind of maintain it structurally. That is cool. What about... Ooh. What about this sort of shape from the bridge? You see what I mean? So we're kind of creating a... In fact, instead of a pencil, could we turn that into like an actual structural feature? So we're kind of almost making a like a window or a cutout from the bridge. So it looks like a pencil, but it's also a bridge feature. And then down here, we could do something like this. Bit more structurally inspired, I guess you could say. I think I need more artboard space, don't I? 10,000 pixels. Oh, these are so cool, these ideas. This is so fun. Yeah, and it's got those lines as well. The kind of bits that maintain the structure. I don't know if I would literally kind of represent it like that, but you've got the slats on the what looks like wood or whatever. So whether you could have lines just not like that, but do you know what I mean? Like that to kind of represent that maybe? Or yeah, it needs some thought. But it's kind of like an eye, it's like a pencil or a pen or something like that. I mean, this could be a pencil or a pen or anything. Really. Some sort of drawing apparatus. And then we've got a structure as well. How that fits into the broader logo, we haven't even thought about the other aspects, like the typographical aspects. Like I've played around a bit. I think if I had to guess, I think there will be a mark. I don't think the eye will be integrated in the lettering. Unless... yeah, I suppose go there. Inspired life. So let's shrink those two down. Shrink that. Unless it were to be something like this. Yeah. It's a bit vertical. Again, going back to what I said earlier about website headers. And if I did something like this, I'm not entirely sure where any kind of graphic gets integrated. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's quite vertical already. I can't exactly... Oh yeah, we'll just pop that on top. I'd have to... I know what I'd have to do. If I did a design like this, I'd probably have to chop that there. Get rid of the top there. That's a very tall design, though. Might have to go sideways. I left align that. Which might work better. Don't know. Yeah. So it's the, yeah, I think I will need to think about this typographically, how it's going to work. Splash of pink. Although I think I do have a bit of a tendency to focus on the mark first. The bridge's arc has serifs. Let's have a look. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, they do. They kind of... Actually, hang on a sec. Let's let's try and just develop this one a bit more. What about if we did double down on that a bit more and turn this into actual serifs? Take that up. Yeah, you are kind of turning it into an eye almost. I squish it a bit. It's subtle, but it's kind of like a nod. We could even make that like an arch. Oh, how would I do that? Don't know. It's very tall. It could work. I just don't know if it's a bit too much. I think I'm trying to do too much there. I like the idea of that, the building being an eye with a serif. Let's start with a basic eye. God, I'm so bad at drawing freehand. Much easier looking down at the pen display, but okay, there we go. I do sometimes get asked the question, do you need to be able to draw to be a designer? And the answer is unequivocally no. You do not. Trust me. Yeah, so maybe we'll just start with that. It's an eye. That's semi-competent, that one. You could do like a double eye. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Then maybe do something with that. Could you have the pencil going up the middle? That looks kind of cool. What do you reckon? It's pencil, but it's quite subtle. And then I suppose you could do the dot on the top or not. You could have the dot as like the sun, like the sunset. And then you could have the bridge structure. I don't know if this is probably way too overkill. Coming down. Might be a bit too much. Could be it looks like a person. Arms, and you got the legs and the... I don't know. Maybe a bit too much. The first idea that makes it look like a building structure looks better. This one here. Yeah, I mean, this one could work. Maybe just make it a bit less tall. I've just tried to kind of make it more like an eye that contains a pencil rather than a pencil in a random shape. So I'm trying to make the... I could make it shorter. So it looks like a letter I and a pencil and a structure all at once, you know? Could get rid of the circle, I suppose. No, you don't. No superhero cape. Without the sun. Yeah. I suppose actually, yeah, you're probably right. I mean, this is more of a capital. Well, actually, no, it could be either. But if I were to do this as a capital I, let's say, this would be enough. And obviously these serifs would look less terrible, like it would look really, really good. Hopefully, in the final version. Bit more bridge detail, architecture. No, that's too much. No, that's awful. There is something there, incorporates all the ideas you brainstormed. Yeah. Yeah, I love how wildly different these ideas are. We've got Raquel's, which was a bit more three-dimensional. We've got the original 2D, just a simple eye, really, with that watercolor styling that's kind of reminiscent of Jason's style. We've got Laser, who suggested the fountain pen style that's got the eye in it, which I quite like, with a bit of refinement. And then we've got this one here that is much more architectural. It loses the bridge proportions, make the white space pencil thinner. Oh, what? So make these columns thicker and make the pencil thinner. Is that what you're saying? Hopefully I've understood that correctly. There we go. No, I don't know. I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that either. Huh. I think it may be a bit higher. Let's nudge it up a bit. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the serifs are awful, so they need to be refined as well. In fact, I could probably do that quite quickly. Make them less chunky and a bit more elegant. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I feel like you got like a bit more consistency. The width of the pillars is the same as the pencils almost. Maybe there's a little bit more consistency there. Make it all shorter. Yeah, I could do. I just don't want it to be too stumpy. But I do like that. And I think it's good working on these designs in this linear style because Jason's style is very linear, as you can see. So I feel like whatever idea we go for, the winning idea is going to have a linear style to some extent. Not necessarily going to be like black block color, you know? Right. Let's gather up my favorite ideas. That one. This one as well. This one I need to explore more because it might be as simple as just a nice eye with a splatter watercolor. Yeah, this one. I want to explore this as well. Yeah, I think he uses pens and pencils, so I think we do have a bit of flexibility with how we visually represent the drawing tools. Right, I've got to draw this properly now. Although Photoshop does have drawing smoothing capabilities, I'm just neglecting to use them. There we go, that's not too bad. We'll go. Something like that. Okay, the scaling is totally off there. Let's... Don't want to go too high with it either. Still got to fit in a website header. Yeah, I do like that. I don't know if it'll be really relevant. I don't know if Jason uses this. I mean, it's a fountain pen. It's usually for writing, isn't it? I don't know if he uses some sort of equivalent like this. Maybe he could start just for the sake of a logo. I suppose what you could do if he did is you could have the watercolory bit down here. So like where the ink would be, or you could have it as if he's just sort of drawn a stroke. Do you know what I mean? So there could be an idea there. I suspect, I don't know. Fountain pens are for writing, I think, aren't they? I don't know if you use them for drawing. Yeah, does he use fountain? He doesn't use a fountain pen though, does he? Like, I like the idea, and I know someone suggested it. What did he say? Pens, pencils. Yeah, pens, ink. He says ink, but that wouldn't necessarily be with a fountain pen, would it? Like, I've only ever used the fountain pen. Like, this is going back to when I was in school. I used that for writing. Don't really write much these days. It's all on computer. So I don't know if that would be relevant. Has anyone else here used a fountain pen or something similar to that? Or sort of more drawing or artistic uses rather than writing? Marvelous technical twin pens. Yeah, so even those, they're not, yeah. They do have a very interesting architectural shape, though. So I'm going to copy and paste that in. Because that could very easily be like the shape of a building. If you kind of stand it upright. Which could be interesting, actually. I like that. What are those other pens that have the colour running down the middle? You know, the ones that are transparent? And you can see the colour? Yeah, oh, there they were a second ago. Where were they? Yeah, these ones. Maybe you have a strip of colour down the middle of the eye. Like here, for example. You could have the pink pencil and then yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe. It's not really his style, but yeah. Maybe just the pink there. Hey, Mr. Reg. How you doing? Yeah, like an architect pen. Is that what they're called? I'm not sure. Very sort of technical. "10 pens every architect and designer must have." Okay, well, that's interesting. Yeah, I suppose you could design with it. I mean, it's a link to an article, 10 pens every architect and designer must have, and there's some fountain pens in there. So I suppose you can use them for calligraphy and things, so why not an illustration of some sort? So yeah, I'm going to keep that in there. We'll see what Jason thinks to that, because then that idea does have more legs. I mean, it is a very subtle eye. This is a trick that can be quite good for logos and icons as well, is to use different widths. Everything can be the same width and that's fine, but as you can see, if you do vary the width, have thick and thin, it can make things a bit more visually interesting. Although that said, I might do this all the same width. Let's just chunk it up a bit. I'm very good, thank you. Very good. Can't believe I've been streaming for 3.5 hours now. Yeah, I agree. How much should I charge for a logo? Oh my goodness. That's a loaded question. I'd ask Chris Doe from the future. Hey. Look up this dude. He's the guy. He's the guy you want to ask that question to, not me. He's got some old videos on it as well. There we go. Bit more like an eye. Yeah, I think when you do that as well, that's like a fountain pen icon. When you do that and separate the eye. I wonder if I could do something a bit more interesting than that. Good morning, good evening. Daniel, hey, good to see you again. How are you, my friend? Oh, Made by James does that as well. Okay, I'll have to check out his pointers. See what he says. It depends wildly. Lots of different factors. What about if we've got the circle? What about if we cut in slightly? We kind of leave that part open. I'm trying to make it look a bit stylized, but it almost looks so close that it looks like a mistake. So I think I might have to separate that. I'm doing very well, Shikak. How are you? Daniel says awake barely. How are you? What time is it? Are you morning or evening? Awake barely. I'm going to guess morning. Is it a slow start? Are you feeling like a Windows 95 computer booting up and all the system tray icons aren't quite there yet? Because if you are, man, I know how you feel. I get that a lot. Right, we'll do a little bit more, and then I should probably go and see my family. Oh, hang on, where's my pen gone? Where's my pen now? Oh. I'm also a Windows. I often am also a Windows 95 computer today. Yeah. I'm Windows 3.11, moosh. Windows 95 is too advanced for me. I'm one of those old ones. Does anyone else remember Windows 3.11 or whatever it was? Back in the day, that was my first. Yeah, I was thinking. I didn't want to say anything, but as I was reading it, I was like, what the fuck? I often am also a Windows 95 computer today. I had MS-DOS. Nice. Late start for me. It's 11:30 a.m. That's the time I got up this morning as well. I was completely out of it. Slept like a log. Nuts. Sorry, I was out for a meal with a friend. Of course you were out for a meal. You're either out for a meal or in the bath. Was it a nice meal? Please do tell us what you had. Okay, yeah. Let me add that into the documente. Yeah, so this is what Raquel's just sent me. So yeah, that's much more of a technical drawing pencil, which is cool. Oh god, where's me documents? Yeah, so this was the closest I got to that, I think. It was like this. It's very Empire State Building-y with the lines and stuff. So yeah, I mean, that could become an eye. I mean, what if you had that? Let's just sketch something real quick. Oh god. My ability to draw lines is compromised. I am compromised. Right, okay. So, again, it's too tall to be a logo, but bear with. So we've got the technical drawing pen. What about if the dot on the eye was like that, like a sunset behind the building? Maybe? I don't know. Possibly. It's a bit more subtle, a bit more of a subtle nod to the letter I, but... Did I miss anything juicy? Well, we've got lots of crazy letter I's. Oh, there's 2 new courses. I should probably mention that again. Right. So for anyone who's just joined, or if you've been here for the last 3 hours, well, if you've been here for 3 hours, thank you very much. But yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, today I've read on the whole website, the Dansky.com site, and there's 2 new courses that you can pre-order now, and they launch on the 20th of October. Very exciting. So there is the OG Masterclass, and this one here is Photoshop First Class and Illustrator First Class. And if you want to buy them both together, there is a bundle where you save a bit of money as well. And essentially, this is I'd say introductory to intermediate level course. As you can see, it's a lower price point, hopefully a bit more accessible. This is going to teach you a huge amount of Photoshop and Illustrator. And there will be new masterclasses for Illustrator and Photoshop coming early next year. And so I'm kind of breaking it into 2 types of courses. The first class, which is going to be beginner to intermediate, and then the masterclass, the new ones, which will be intermediate to super hyper advanced, the best of what I can teach. So that's kind of how I'm splitting it. And if I just go into this one, for example, you can see a few pictures. Things will create, guitars in water, neon, complex masking around hair, mock-ups, cutting out products, building scenes and drawing shadows. This is really cool. This is the burger. So we're going to make that entire scene. You see the table the burger's on? That is a flat 2D image made into a 3D scene. We add lighting and shadows, just all this crazy stuff. And there is a trailer there if you want to go and check it out. I'll post this in the chat actually. Yeah. So there's a proper 2-minute trailer that will kind of give you a bit more of an introduction to the course. The illustrated trailer's not ready yet, but it will be coming. And there's just lots of blurb down here about what we're going to work on. Detailed curriculum of exactly what's going to be covered. There will be another module added to this as well when Photoshop 2025 goes live this year. So the new features will always be up to date. So there's that effect in action. You'll learn how to create this, a similar effect to this. Basically, you can dunk anything in water, add splash brushes and effects. And so, yeah, that's a lot of fun. I love doing that. And yeah, a bit of blurb. And you get access to the community, but you get access to the members area. So if you have questions or want feedback on your work, or just yeah, you get access to a bunch of other areas that are like beyond the free access in the community. So yeah, if you want to learn Photoshop and Illustrator and you want to learn it with me and have that kind of support, someone there if you get stuck, then they are coming on the 20th of October. Live stream on Thursday too. Yes, most probably. Iron and cement, the mind boggles. Right. Yeah, I've linked those already, haven't I? Cool. If you've got any questions about those courses, or I think a couple people have said, what's the difference between the... oh, where's it gone? I've lost it. Where are you? The current masterclass and first class. I've answered that a bit earlier in the stream, but if you've got any more questions like that, honestly, do get in touch at hello@dansky.com and I'll be as helpful as I can. I went through that a bit earlier, drawing a little diagram and everything. So yeah, remember there's the bundle down there as well if you want to save a bit of money. Cool. There we go. I'm getting better at marketing. Meh. Right. Oh my goodness. How is it 6:30? Right. I'm going to have to go in a minute. Sir, this is a little bit affordable for us from PK. Do you mean it is affordable? Hopefully, I've tried to make the first class ones more accessible because I think a lot of people who want to be a designer, whether it's a graphic designer, UI designer, you're going to be using Photoshop and Illustrator a lot. And these first introductory courses, I think a lot of people will just only need that, and it will teach them, you know, all you need to know to then go off and have that type of career. And there's a lot you can do with these apps, and in these courses, a lot of different things get explored. And these courses are specifically aimed at designers. So there will be a lot of photography based stuff in the Photoshop course, but there's also a lot of design stuff. My background is as a designer. And so it's a lot of that as well. And there's so much you can use Photoshop for. So I try and explore as much of that as possible in the course, so you can kind of get a real taste of just what you can do with it. But the new masterclasses will be for people who like the first class stuff. Yep, got a good understanding of Photoshop, but now Dan, teach me the best of what you can teach. I want to know how to do like the best stuff, like full homepage designs, illustrations in Photoshop, crazy photo manipulation artwork. That kind of stuff is what will be in the masterclasses, and I'll kind of go through that in a bit more detail in the coming weeks. But yeah, so that's why I've separated them out, because not everyone will want to go and do the advanced stuff. But at least if you want to kind of get in and you want to just learn Photoshop, a good chunk of Photoshop is now hopefully more accessible for more people, which is cool because then I get to teach more people, which is great. When it comes to the masterclasses, I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm planning to put into them, But if you've got any ideas for things that you're like, oh, I wish you could teach me this, or you know, like what is something that's really advanced you would like to learn how to do in Photoshop or Illustrator, let me know, because I'm still shaping these courses up at the minute and it's not finalized. So this is like your chance to kind of help shape those courses, because they're essentially going to be for people like you watching the stream who like learning with me and you want to learn the, you know, what's inside my head. You want to learn the secrets of how I do everything that I do. And so, yeah, at some point I will definitely share with you what I'm planning to put in, and I'd love to get your input as to what you would like included as well. So, yeah, hopefully you can help me shape those masterclasses into something that's going to be just as awesome as possible. Probably not the place for it right now, but I'm in that phase of trying to figure out how to move my skill set over to Affinity. Still at the start of that process. What? So moving from Adobe to Affinity and learning those different tools. You are a nice man. Oh, thank you, John. I try. I do try. For for reasons. Would it be related to terms and conditions by any chance? It's funny that you ask that. We did actually cover that earlier in today's stream. We jumped into Affinity Designer, had a play, had a chat. Yeah, one thing and one thing I did talk about earlier was I'm not averse to the idea of doing an introductory course for the Affinity apps, because I think there are a lot of people that have been, let's just say, have been upset by certain decisions as of late, and they would like to get out of that subscription ecosystem, one-time payment, no more subscription, and use a different app. Obviously, not everyone can do that. But let's just say if I were to make a course for Affinity to help people with that transition, then, you know, I like using Affinity. It's good. It's good. I'm very much invested in the Adobe ecosystem because of obviously what I do with the channel, but the Affinity software is very good software. And if there's people that want to jump ship, I don't blame them. And, you know, if I could help in that, then I don't know, maybe there's scope for me to make a course to help. Yeah. So I think generally with, at least I found with Affinity Designer, that a lot of keyboard shortcuts are the same. When I first used it on a trial a few years ago, I think it was a few years ago, I didn't give it a chance and I was like, no, I'm just back to Illustrator. But actually, if you spend a little bit of time with it, it really is not that difficult. There's because they're smart. They've made a lot of the keyboard shortcuts and the behaviors the same as Illustrator. So I can just zoom in, 100%, fit to screen. I can pen tool. N for the pencil tool. The keyboard shortcuts, a lot of them are actually the same. You've got your Pathfinder, your... Oh, is that a reflect? Haha! I said they didn't have a reflect tool earlier. Oh, hang on. Let's get a different shape. No, not a circle, Dan, you bloody lemon. Use something else. Something that isn't symmetrical. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm being an idiot. Yeah, even just having that there is so... Yeah, I mean... So you've got your alignment options, you've got your Pathfinder options, layers if you use it, kind of like Photoshop. You've got your brushes. Quick effects is basically blending options from Photoshop. Styles is not really used that a lot. Kind of useless at the moment. Transform, they've got that in Photoshop. Navigator in Photoshop. A lot of the tools are very similar. If you actually go down, it looks scary at first because it's like, icons I don't recognize. But there's actually quite a lot that is very, very, very similar. And after spending a good hour with Designer, this was when I bought it a month or two ago. It was kind of like, oh, this is actually not too bad. It's not as scary as I thought it was at first. There's a few things that will trip you up, things that are different. So there's no denying that. But a lot of times it's just a quick Google search. Oh, how do I do it? Because there's lots of people that have probably come over from Adobe and they're thinking, oh, how do I do that? And I'm stuck. And so there's people that have asked and answered these questions online already. But I think, yeah, just force yourself to spend a good hour doing something in it, like a logo, or take a design you've already done in Illustrator and just try and recreate it in Photoshop, in Affinity. Like the shape builder tool, it does work slightly differently, and the functionality is better in some ways than Illustrator, but a bit more limited in others. And it's just understanding those differences. But there's a lot of things that are very, very similar. Swatches, strokes. So they don't have a contextual panel over here. But at least in my opinion, they have all the panels you'll ever need. So I think there's fewer panels than Illustrator, but there's you've got pretty much most of what you need. Yeah, so you don't have loads of the effects that you do in Illustrator, but you do have like warp functionality, and you can do. There's a lot of differences. There's some things you can't do that Illustrator can, and there's some things Affinity can do that Illustrator can't, or not as easily. So it's, as we say, it swings and roundabouts. Oh, you got it all a month ago. Well, yeah. If it's any consolation, Daniel, I totally get where you're coming from. It's you need to find time, I think, to sit down and not be rushed. Because like for me personally, and you might be the same. When you're actually working on things and you've got deadlines and stuff, you need to get it done. You can't afford to mess around and come up against problems and all that stuff. You need to use the software that you know will get the job done. But yeah, I think maybe just set a little bit of time aside to have a play, and it's actually quite similar in a lot of ways. It's very responsive, at least from my experience so far. But if it's any consolation, after spending I think I spent like a good hour with it one night. And after that solid hour of making, I think I made the Affinity icon. Yeah, the Affinity photo and the Affinity designer. You know the icons, the purpley and blue icons. I made those in Affinity designer. So maybe have a go at doing that. That's what I did. And after I'd created those and come up against a few hurdles and, the shape builder tools works differently. Once I kind of figured it out, I was like, oh, actually, yeah, this is pretty seamless and easy. So maybe like an app icon, because they usually have like lots of shapes and things. Oh, hello, Poppy, she's back. Yeah, so maybe have a go at creating some of the Affinity icons. I definitely have time because I'm still on that. There you go. You got no excuses, Daniel. Yeah, we see you, Poppy. Is that hello? Why haven't you come home yet? I'm hiding. The children scare me. Okay, right. I'm going to go home. Oh my goodness. We've nearly been streaming for 4 hours. I can't remember the last time I did anything remotely close to that. But it's been a lot of fun. And yes, we'll probably be streaming on Thursday again. I'm going to try and stick to the Tuesday, Thursday. Right. I think the air conditioning's turned off. No wonder it's got so hot in here. Okay. Yeah, Poppy's come back and we're going to wrap up now. Oh, good progress though. Really, yeah, was not sure if I was going to get so many good ideas. So thank you so much to everyone who submitted ideas here. I'm going to have to poke Jason now and be like, Jason, watch the stream. What do you think? Do you like where we're going? Or yeah, this is cool. This is going to be a good one. It did get a bit longer, didn't it? Good fun though. I'm glad you caught it as well, Daniel. Thanks for coming by. Oh, it's been fun. Right. Should I I'll mention the community again just before we go. Hang on, where are you? Where's the link? So if you want to carry on chatting and you'd like to share your work with other people and just basically be part of our little community, you can join for free there. And we just basically chat, hang out, and talk about food or whatever when we're not streaming. Join our little club. And just one more time, I've got to try and get better at marketing my own courses. So here's the link to check out my new Photoshop and Illustrator courses. And I'm not going to go on about them again. I've talked about them enough. But if you want to learn a huge amount about Photoshop and Illustrator and support me and everything I do here, then you can enroll in them individually. Or there's a bundle price here where you save a bit of money, and they're going live on the 20th of October. So yeah, if you've got any questions about those courses, or you want to give me ideas for the next set of masterclasses, things you really want to learn. I've got a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge in my head, and my goal this year and next is to get it out of my head and teach it to people. So if you've got any ideas or any feedback or anything like that, do let me know at hello@dansky.com. And yeah, that's me done for today. Have a fantastic week, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you later, guys. Jane says hi. Hi, Jane. Bye, Jane. See you later, everyone.